Nice. That was pretty nice transition there. So, welcome to our 127th. We're getting lots of high numbers this week with at least 2, maybe 3 episodes. Guerrilla Radio. We have a special guest today in Mr. Dustin Bentz out of the Dirty South.
Dirty.
We're going to talk some Evansville semi-state, maybe get into another one if we have time. Dustin has a lot to say, so we're not gonna have to worry about our levels on our on the audio tonight with Dustin. So also have Mike here. He's gonna give some input on everything down south and have a great night of talking. Dustin's gonna turn 24 tomorrow, so we gotta wish him a birthday, happy birthday.
That's right.
So how was the South this year?
The best semi-state in the land. I mean, I'm glad you said. Are we the last? Are we the best for last? Is there any more semi-states this week? Or
we haven't done Fort Wayne or Newcastle.
Yeah, we only got one last on Monday night because Ed just blabbled all the time, and we had some issues with connections, so we cut it off because I was getting frustrated. So do you have your clear bag ready for the Ford Center?
I have my clear bag. I'm ready. I'm ready to buy some $9 coffee. I love the Ford Center. I know people kind of rail against it, and they like Jasper last year, but who wants to sit in a high school gym for a semi-state? Like, let's make it nice and
I
sit
agree.
in the Ford Center.
Man, you guys are just gonna throw some shade at us like that, huh? That's how we do it up here.
Yeah.
It's nice being in a nice big arena. At least we don't have to have clear bags. Do the wrestlers have to have clear bags to get in, or is that?
I think they let wrestlers carry in coolers even, but you got to go through the secret door around the side. You can't go in the main door with the cooler and the darkened bags.
The darkened bags, yes. And that's just it's an Evansville thing, I guess, is having the clear bags.
You never know. Hey, you never know what those Evansville people might carry into a wrestling event. I mean, probably not guns, but I mean, we're talking like alcohol. Now, I've heard some wild stories down in Castle and Evansville.
Oh man, that's becoming more and more, man. I'm seeing a lot of people sneaking alcohol.
Hey,
I'm usually in the media, man. I got to be like straight ahead. I'm not like a good drinker and talker. A lot more swear.
Last week we wrestled down in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and when I came back to my chair after coaching one of the kids, there's a glass of bourbon and Sprite sitting there, and I go, "What the hell?" And they go, "There's a bar right over there." So they were serving alcohol to kids wrestling tournament in Kentucky last week. So,
they did that at Peoria, man. At the softball tournament, we're watching people walk by with Bloody Marys. I said, I don't know if this could be a good mix, man.
IPO, they had a liquor license, so they could sell alcohol there, and they're like, and I saw the bar area or whatever, and I'm like, oh, you guys can serve alcohol? They're like, yeah. Do you want us to open that up? I go, oh no. I know Troy Hahn said no way.
Man. That'll be some good stories.
I will come run your bar next year. That's how I can get into IPO. I'll come run the bar.
You got to wear a mask at Evansville also?
Oh, I hope not. You have to wear a mask. Any Evansville people, do you have to wear a mask?
That's what someone just said.
They just said on the chat.
Oh, no.
You can't cover up that pretty face.
I should probably be in a mask anyway. So
yeah. So I guess before we get started, I do have a little bit of IPO news, and I've been in talks with a brand new facility. Not going to mention names until I can get some T's crossed, I's dotted, and some lower prices negotiated. But pretty good meeting today with a facility that's pretty close here. If you look on the news, you can probably figure it out in the Fort Wayne area. But kind of excited to maybe have a nice permanent home. So as a heads up for people, it's easy to get to, and it's right in this Fort Wayne area. So I like keeping it in the Fort Wayne area. Gotta help the Fort Wayne area. So just for people that are worried about IPO, because obviously September's just around the corner, right? And I know Little B's going to be there. So
is it junior high IPO this year? Is it all together?
7th through 12th graders. We had some 7th graders last year. You can wrestle.
Yeah, I'll save my money on that one. Thanks.
Probably get a discount, employee discount.
Are you
Oh,
doing
there you go.
the Gorilla Melee again this year?
Yeah, I believe, yes, we are planning on doing that. That might be later I think that we might do that like the first week of November. So, yes, no, it's the Plex East there, Kyle. The Plex East this year. Yeah, one time.
Hey, we got Quinn Chandler says there are not Quinn Chandler. Quinn Harris says optional. Masks are optional.
But encouraged. So
It
anyway,
says for real.
Yeah.
Good for them, man.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Kyle's already mapping out how to get the Plex North that he went to the first time.
How about Kyle Harrisman, the face of sportsmanship?
Yeah, you see, I was in the background there. Someone pointed out that Morgan pointed out that I was in the background. You can see the blue jacket and the bald spot. Two things you can't miss. So
That can be said about a lot of people out there, Joe. Come on.
So, well, Dustin, give us a little bit of lowdown on your year, since we don't get to talk to you too much, face to face at least. And how are the rankings? How are they holding up? Are they great?
I feel like this was the hardest year for rankings. Like the semi-state's just gotten so ridiculously tough, so competitive with all the different areas feeding in that it's been a hard year to rank. To do the top 8. I work with Mike a lot, and even then, I feel like we're gonna miss some kids. There are gonna be some kids that punch their tickets Saturday that either wasn't ranked or aren't ranked in the top 4 or aren't ranked in the state or whatever. And it's just a testament to how tough the semi-state is. As I was going through some of the weights right in my preview, I was just like, oh man, this is we're probably going to miss some kids here, miss some kids there. 220, if I remember right. I got it all right here, but 220, if I remember right, was super loaded. Like I counted 8 or 9 kids that could possibly punch their tickets. So it's been a super competitive year in the South, and I enjoy doing it, and it's a blast. And I feel like it's been my best year in terms of keeping up and getting updates in, and that's just with technology and everybody starting to post their results more. Thank you, everybody that sends me emails and posts their results and sends stuff to Mike and I. And I have guys like Kevin Arnett over in the western part of the state that sends me stuff, and Big Toe 19 from the middle part that sends me stuff, and Coach Cook, Terre Haute South, always sends me updates. So it takes an army, man. I remember days when we'd have to shake down modern day people to find any results from them. So that's opened up. But yeah, I mean, I have fun doing it. It's a blast every year, and this year was no different.
Yeah, I know. Talking to Mike about some of the rankings, he's looking at out of Mooresville. It's there's 6 good guys at this weight. He's I can't rank them all. I know they are all really good, but I can't rank them all because I'm not wasting 6 guys when 2 of them aren't even going to make it to the semi-state.
Well, man, it's tough. But that's kind of what bit us in the butt before, because that area has become so good. Where that's the Eli Stock thing, right? You look at it, you're well, he might be the 4th best guy coming out of that regional, and then that regional is so good, that area became so good that it was he ran into a state title. And there's guys like that across the entire Evansville semi-state, not just Mooresville, but you guys have some really good academies feeding that area, and some really good coaches that are putting a lot of time in. You see a lot of those teams that are tracking across the state,
I feel like I didn't put it. I have to go back and add this in the write-up, but I feel like, it's Invicta, Mauer Coughlin, and contenders. We're going to see kind of this weekend what academy kind of reigns supreme. That's really bolstered our semi-states, those 3 academies. So
yeah, I mean, and then Red Cobra is in there still, and then,
Red Cobra, yeah.
What Coop does over at Columbus East is amazing, because those guys, have guys, and I think they changed a couple of times. They were Fight Barn, and then they're Balboa, and then you're watching, you're man, and he's great at getting guys that they'll come out of nowhere too. And, I mean, look at not that they came out of nowhere, but Likens and those guys at the Al Smith, where maybe they get the higher seeds, but it's dude, that guy's way underseeded. These guys are wrestling year round, and I mean, it's just amazing. I think the South really, and obviously it's a huge geographical area, but it's been pretty good.
I mean, Coop takes his kids and they go wrestle in all-star tournaments as Columbus, as you said, Fight Barn or Balboa. They'll go to Grand River Rumble. They'll go out to Virginia Beach. They go all over, and it's his team. He'll pick up kids as he needs to here and there, but he tries to fill it with all Columbus East kids first.
And I think that's a real cool team, and especially, like I'm always surprised how many people watch the Guerrilla Radios. Like that's always like one of those things that, because I mean, obviously we see the comments and you get a lot of people return on the comments, and then you go back and then you'll talk to someone, and they're like, man, I loved watching this. I love what you guys were saying. But like, if you're a coach out there, like look at what Coop's doing, because you'll see guys that are in that lineup that struggled early on, maybe like when they were younger, freshman, sophomore, that are going to be like semifinalist level guys this year. And he's just brought them along. And it's amazing.
So, I mean, I think like 152, they had a guy ranked in the semi-state going into sectionals, Tony Reyes Tapia. And now Eli Pollitt, his backup, is a regional champ, going into semi. He wasn't even in the lineup at sectionals. It was a different kid.
Me and Joe were doing that when we were doing the pre-seeds for the Al Smith. And I think Eli Pollitt at that point was like, 0-0 or he's 2-2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way we can give this guy a seed just because he doesn't have any criteria. But like, someone's going to draw him, and it's going to be like, this guy's a guy you're pulling out of a hat because he's obviously really good. But that's a lot of those teams, And then, like you said, like the Terre Haute areas got a lot better also. Like you see those guys at IPO, and it'd be like, and that's like the biggest thing is like, you don't always get to see those guys because geographically it's tough. And I know it's tough. It's tough for you guys because like, obviously like where your ass not close to Brownsburg, and Brownsburg's not going down to Evansville all the time, and Evansville's not coming up to Bloomington all the time. But like tournaments like IPO, you get to see like some of those Terre Haute guys come over, and it's like, hey, he won this match, and this match. And it's like, oh, so he's like the real deal. Like,
yeah.
Where like in the past, maybe you didn't always, feel like that, not just that program, but other programs like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to get into the brackets. Let me switch our view. Yeah. Start out up top with Hockaday, Caleb Manning, Brady Bird, Walter Hagedorn. Should be a good take-around match. First-round match, Hagedorn, Brady Bird should be a good one. What do you guys know about these guys?
I mean, obviously, we know Hockaday's had a spectacular year, but underneath that, Washington, Brady Bird, another guy who under the radar, don't hear a lot about Washington. He's 32-5. I think he was like only had 1 or 2 losses going into sectionals, but he kind of goes through some sectionals and regionals with some tough kids. So I wouldn't count out Brady Bird. And then Hagedorn, Tell City, state champs, another one, 28-3 freshman. They don't wrestle a slap schedule. So that should be a great first round match. But unfortunately, the winner gets Jake Hockaday. You're gonna see that a ton as we go through the brackets where quality kids, and then boom, you hit the Mooresville Hammers.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah. And go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought Hagedorn had a really good Evansville, the Modern Day Holiday Classic, but Hockaday's IPO champ, ridiculously good. Got the win over Rio this past time. Rio had beat him the week before, so that'd be a nice rivalry going forward. But his other loss is to Barrick Jordan, who is really good also from Ohio.
Yeah. Going down, we got Donnie Feeler. Great article on him today if you guys have not checked that out. Crawford County, their first state qualifier, looking for being a placer. Tough matchup with number 20, Brendan Leonard from Martinsville, and then Cameron Meyer from Bloomington South. His brother was a couple-time qualifier, I believe, and then Ty Henderson from Vincennes Lincoln. So some pretty good, 3 state ranked guys and 1 guy that's semi-state ranked. So that's a pretty, sometimes at Fort Wayne, you only get that 3 state ranked guys in a weight class. Now you have these guys in a quarter.
Yeah, all good kids. Feeler's had a great year, obviously returning state qualifier. Leonard with Martinsville's had a great year. Ty Henderson, he's been wrestling. I looked him up not that long ago on track, and he's wrestled the circuit, for years and years and years. So Feeler's obviously the favorite, but this is a quarter bracket where I wouldn't be surprised if any of those 4 guys ends up kind of punching their way through and pulling it out.
I thought Meyer had a real nice Al Smith. Leonard's had some really good wins this year. He had some really good wins at Mooresville. I believe he beat Ash there, right? Like I think he knocked him off, and then that's just like you said, like that's gonna win a pick'ems. Like, hey, pick the right one. Out of those 4, it's gonna be hard. Yes. But like you said, great article today for Donnie Feeler. You want to see some of those small schools punch guys through like that.
Yep, that's always good for their programs. Going down, you got Isaiah Schaefer. Obviously, we know his dad was a pretty good wrestler. Eli Collier from Owen Valley, Mike's favorite team.
I do like those guys.
They the Patriots. Is that what their name? No, what's their nickname? I thought they have a pretty cool mascot. And then this is a that pretty cool pretty cool. Sorry, going back. Charlie LaRocca from Center Grove. This is one of those cringy. Center Grove did not get any good draws. I don't know what Coach Swain does, but he needs to sacrifice a chicken or a goat. I don't know what he needs to sacrifice. He needs to do something to get these draws better because they got
talk with Ed. He was saying that he used to get those same draws at North Montgomery too.
Yeah, so I don't know what Coach Swain does. He's a nice guy. I like him. So I don't know what he does, but LaRocca, Schaefer, take a round match. Obviously, I have Liam Kuffman from Columbus North in there too, but LaRocca and Schaefer is probably one of those high circled matches that when we were looking at the brackets, we're like, oh, that's tough.
It's the first Charles Barkley terrible draw in my preview when we talked about tonight. The two top 10 ranked kids going at it for a round of state, and that, again, the Mooresville kind of draw there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Mooresville regional is so deep, it's going to create some bad draws because you have the semi-state so deep. I used to get accused of like hating Evansville, but like looking at the rankings, it's like they're pretty deep. We have a lot of ranked guys there. That could help determine a team race. Like if Charlie LaRocca or Schaefer get out of there, they're expecting high points from those guys at the state finals.
Yeah.
Both of those teams. And it's going to be, and this is kind of what we said a lot of the year with Crown Point. And we talked about it. Gappy, it was like all spotty, on our coverage for that East Chicago. But they got pretty comfortable draws where Brownsburg, Mater Dei, Center Grove are going to have to really battle it out to get guys there. But they're going to bring guys that are probably ready to medal too.
Yeah. Dustin, you are dating yourself with the Charles Barkley references. I said you're going to be 24, and I think I might have lied there.
Charles still doing it, man.
Hey, yeah, that's not old. I think the Barry Horowitz curtain jerkers would be more outdated than the Charles Barkley terrible draws.
Yeah, Charles.
Google Barry Horowitz, everybody.
Charles might be more popular now than he was when he was playing.
So last quarter bracket, Roland Douglas from Floyd Central. I do got all their grades now. Thanks, Coach Sisson. Maybe someday he'll master track wrestling. Caleb Reed, Evansville Wright.
That's because at Floyd they don't use grades. It's just you're there 4 years and then you're gone. They don't.
He's out there hitting too many jump ropes, man. These jump ropes are across the whole country. Let's take this jump rope thing international next year. I want to see Sisson in Europe doing some jump roping.
So yeah, he has Caleb Reed from Evansville Wrights, Dane Botkin from Seymour, the Fighting Matt Ems, and then Luke Rio from Avon. You knew looking at that bracket, even that's up there, you knew the 2-3s. You had LaRocca and Rio were going to potentially run into Schaefer, and one of them did. So looks like Rio got a little bit better draw, but still not an easy one.
Yeah, and as we talk about like bad draws, you're talking about Center Grove. As we get through this, and you look, Floyd Central got a bunch of terrible draws also. I had coaches and kind of guys I know they're texting me like, we didn't get any good draws. So this is another Ron Douglas regional champ draws Luke Rio in the round to go. So Rollins' dad, Thaddeus, he was a state placer at Columbus North, so it's there too for them. Yeah. So
semi-finalist, right? He wrestled John Sheets.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, interesting. So going
down, he was jacked. I think he's a Greco All-American too, right?
Might have been. I don't know.
There's a website.
That's back when he used to send you the book. Pretty sure he's a Greco All-American.
I'll look that up as we go over this next one. So I heard there's a website that you can do things like that on. Going down 113. 113, you got Liam Kruger from Columbus East, Sean Wendell from Heritage Hills, Tori Anna Buchanan from West Vigo, and then Eddie Goss from Center Grove. One thing we didn't really touch on too much, there were three girls qualified for semi-state this year, two regional champs. Four. Cantu also. That's pretty cool to see. Buchanan did not get a good draw. She's tough though. So that'll be interesting to see her battling out with those guys. She's not an easy out by any means, and that's probably not. You got that pressure of not only semi-state, but now you're wrestling a pretty accomplished girl that's not going to back down from you. So that's going to be an interesting quarter bracket there.
Yeah, and this is who got the bad draw, Columbus East or Center Grove. So we were just both talking about kind of Center Grove having bad draws, and Kruger, Goss, winner goes to state, 2 top-ranked kids, another great, another terrible draw when we talk about the future, but another great match. I got Kruger going on. No disrespect to anybody. I just, Kruger's a junior, 2 losses. He's had a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's incredibly tough. Again, we had to see him at Al Smith. He was a guy that's come along, I think he's always kind of been in the mix, but he's done a great job of getting better every year and put himself in a good. But Eddie Goss is tough, man. And you get tough in that room. Like, their backups are tough.
Yeah.
When we talk about some of the programs, but I think Center Grove could probably put their B team in there and have, 6 or 7 semi-state level guys,
I get like emails weekly. Oh, such and such isn't in the lineup anymore. You got him ranked. What happened? Oh, he lost the wrestle off. And then the next week, hey, this guy's in the lineup now. He lost the wrestle off. So, yeah, Center Grove has 2-3 deep that could be in the rankings multiple weights.
I think it's pretty amazing. And, like, just speaking to the depth of, like, every semi-state had a qualifier, a female qualifier, which is pretty cool. I'd be willing to bet that's the first time that's happened.
I'm pretty positive it is, too.
East Chicago had Joy. I mean, in the same year. I mean, so that will be a tough out. I know she had her state championship match. I think she was going for a 4th title and got with a pin in her. She got rolled through and pinned, right?
Yeah, she got hip over. Got her hips out and hipped over, and I mean it was quick. But obviously she's come back from that, and she's in the mix there. She's tough. She qualified for the Olympic trials, or not the World Team trials.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, World Team trials.
Yeah.
And wrestled there this year. So she's pretty good, and you never know what'll happen. And you gotta take into account that there's gonna be a lot of pressure on those guys wrestling her. I've been there. I've been in that chair on Friday night. That's not fun. You gotta be pretty mentally tough and just go out there and say, hey, I know the crowd's cheering against me, but I got to go and do my job, and that's not easy for a freshman.
I remember I was cheering against Joe, and he's my boy.
Jeez, the truth comes out. No,
man, I think I had picked Kayla Miracle to get a medal that year. Hayden ran into the semis. You guys did it.
Really? Man,
dude, you came over. You were so mad.
No, so going down, you got Evan Sang, Mater Dei, Eli Theobald from Providence, Isaac Ash from Monrovia, and then Max Fort Wendell from Tell City. Sang, he was a qualifier last year, wasn't he? Replacer.
I'd have to go. I got it all pulled up.
That.
Right.
I do know there's a way. Yeah. According to somebody,
I think not that this is the worst draw. I think Isaac Ash had a good season for Monrovia freshman year. I'm sure him and Fort Wendell wrestled before, both freshmen. Tell City, like you said early on, wrestled a great. He was 4th, man. Come on, Joe, you gotta step your game up. Tell City wrestled a real tough schedule, so that'll be a good opening round match. Providence sending a couple of little smaller guys to the semi-state, which is good for their program also. But saying stuff.
Coach Davidson's went in. I'm going to hop in real quick on Providence, give him a cheap plug. Coach Davidson's went in. He's recruited some alumni back into the room, and they started a youth program this year. They got a couple of kids to semi-state. So if they keep that crew kind of there together, I think you'll see Providence grow and grow and grow over the next 4 to 5 years.
That's good to see.
Which is good.
So going down, next quarter bracket, you got Preston Haynes from Brownsburg and Seth Brown from Terre Haute South, Marco Anderson from Evansville North, and Bryson Rowley from Corydon Central. So you got potential 3 versus 9 there. Preston Haynes, obviously, he did not wrestle the state series last year. Probably would have been right in the mix to win a title. So he's no slouch and going to be ready to roll there for Brownsburg.
Yeah, he ran into some real tough competition at the Carnahan. I think that's where he took both of his losses at, both the out-of-state wrestlers. I think he is in the mix. I every time I see him wrestle, I'm always impressed. I think that he's going to be right in the mix for a state title. I thought they'd been in the mix for a state title last year. I think that really hurt Brownsburg's team chances. I know a lot of guys in Evansville were sending me emails telling me not to sleep on Marco Anderson, that he had a lot of real good wins and a lot of tough matches. Bryson Rowley got his first loss at the semis or the regional. Probably not the draw you'd want there. I mean, not that there's any easy draws, but that's probably not what you're looking for when you get that 1L, that first L.
Corden, Central, Bryson, and then Zane Schreck both had their first losses last weekend to Columbus kids, and both got awful draws. Corden's had another small program you don't hear a ton about. They've had a good year with those two guys kind of leading the way. So just a punch in the gut to get draws like that. And hopefully, we always say at Madison's, we always get bad draws. Be the bad draw, instead of getting the bad draw, be the bad draw. So
yeah, I mean, it's tough.
You got to talk to your guy, Robert. Get better draws.
Well, I think it's tough. I mean, outside of we talked about it, I think maybe it was on the show when I was doing the broadcaster last week. If you're a champ, there's the only real spot like you get like to kind of hopefully better. If 2 and 3, it's a toss up. You don't really know.
Yeah.
Some guys are going to be 2s and they're going to get a better draw than the guy that was 3. They're going to look at him like, man, if I would have just dropped the semifinal, I would have had a better draw. You can't really look at it like that because when you walk out there, and we've been doing this for a while, the semi-state's the ticket round's one of the craziest. Like anything can happen. You put someone in a hole, you don't know how they respond. Some kids panic, some kids are cool, man. They'll chill and come back, but it's a crazy round, and every year in that ticket round, something outrageous is going to happen. The board's going to be nuts. The board's been pretty crazy this week, but it'll be crazy Saturday night. It'll be Saturday midday because I think we're at different times. Like there'll be something that happens, a call that happens, a slam that happens, an upset that happens, and people's phones will be going crazy. It's crazy watching people at the semi-state, and it's like instantly everyone just like looks at their phone. It's like, oh man, something nuts just went down.
Yeah.
Inevitably, we'll get the emails from parents telling us how we're terrible at ranking because their kid made it and we didn't think they would. So I always look forward to that.
I always try to kill him with kindness. My predecessor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Didn't always kill him with kindness. But no, I think that people forget that we're like fans still. Like we do this because we love it. And I don't even know. Dude, I love to see that upset. That's exciting for me. If it played out exactly how the rankings were, I would hate it. It would actually make me really sad.
I had a parent 2 or 3 years ago at Folk Style State introduced himself. He goes, "Hey, you triple B?" And I went, "Yeah." And he pointed to his son. He went, "Hey, he didn't think your brother would make it to state." And then walked away. That's
how I met Joe Butler, man. I was sitting by him at state. Now he's a good dude. Even doing the live broadcast, like you're just there. You don't even think. You're just saying it. I try not to cuss. And man, I'm telling you, I guess I said Hunter Whiteneck can come off bottom last year. I think I said something along the lines he's too big to be rode for a period, and he's huge. And when I seen him on Saturday, he's like, "I came out bottom a little bit better this year, huh?" And I didn't even remember saying it. I was like, "I guess, awesome, congratulations." And he's like, "Yeah, last year you said this," and I was like, "Man, I wish I would have said that you should have been a state champ because I think I want to see as many East Chicago guys win it, But no, I like that though. I like it. So I thought that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And that bottom quarter's brutal too.
Yeah, Jackson Houston. I think he has some people on this chat that might know him. Indian Creek. I saw a little news clip about Dowdy's. The whole Dowdy family's 7 kids, and they all wrestling. It's a pretty cool thing. I don't even know where I just saw it on Facebook or Twitter, so check that out. Houston and Logan Bickle. That's gonna be a brutal first round match. Mason Jones from West Washington and Gavin Wheeler, 9 and 11 in the semi-state. So pretty solid quarter. And I mean, we're going to say this over and over here. So
yeah.
Go
ahead.
Jackson Houston, real tough, man. I think he's had some really good results. I thought he's wrestled a lot of big matches in the summer. So you can go back and look at his track and say, oh, he's wrestled this guy, had a win over this guy. And I think I originally had him at 6, and they're like 6 isn't happening. And Cascade's on a run, man. Quinn got those guys pumped. I think that's a big thing. When your coaches believe in you, you start believing in you. Anything could happen.
Yep.
I watched those clips from the Cascade corner. They got a video guy doing them. Those guys are excited.
Ah, that's awesome. Yeah, hey, another person, Mr. Houston, he's emailed me all year long with updates from up around there. So as I saw Jackson's name, it reminded me of that. But you talk about Houston, you talk about Bickle, Mason Jones, West Washington, Coach Tankersley down there. I think they've only been going 4 or 5 years, so he's kind of doing good things down there. And maybe not this year, but again, another program where if Coach Tankersley keeps putting the work in, you could see some kids maybe kind of sliding out here and there down the road. So.
And we were kind of talking about it off air a little bit. Maybe it wasn't. I was talking to someone. They were talking about how good Crown Point is, but you guys have such a strong core of teams. Like wrestling is a very competitive thing, and coaches can be super competitive too. Like it makes other coaches and other teams step their game up too. Like they're gonna say, "Hey, I don't want to be left at home every year. Like we're gonna get better. I need to, how do we get better? Like what do we need to be doing?" And I think that's gonna be good for the semi-state. It's gonna make dude, we had it at Maryville and East Chicago for years where the ticket rounds would just be brutal and it just cycles through. Now it's down at Evansville. It was at Newcastle for a while. Maybe someday to come back to Fort Wayne like it was in the 80s.
It's coming.
I mean, just this year we started down here. It's called the Southern Indiana Wrestling League. It's elementary league made up of 8 teams. But the goal being the competitiveness is good, but how can we all grow our programs together? And, let's not pull any punches. Like the Jeff Regional isn't jumping out. So we're, as coaches and youth coaches, are trying to build our programs from the ground up and make us kind of catch up as fast as we can to the other regionals. So, yeah, I mean, we're working together as coaches, trying to build everything up and do what we can.
But, I mean, again, it goes on cycles, right? Because Jeff Regional probably early 2000s was really tough. They were putting a lot of guys in the finals. Yeah. They had a lot of high medalists. And it just cycles to where, that group's at and just keep it evolution. But there's a lot of pride. And like you said, hey, man, you guys got a lot of good people that know wrestling, and they want to build it up.
Jarrett says that Indian Creek's moving to the Jefferson Regional next year. That's interesting. I know they're supposed to be doing a realignment, so that'll be interesting to see how that works out.
I heard some realignment stuff too.
Oh. Franklin, he said Franklin too. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be tough, man. We get you some Tante down there. That'd be fun.
I was gonna say, hey, Dowdy and Tante, just because we're the easiest, don't mean you get to stick your heads down in there. Sorry, we're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, so be interesting to see how the alignments shake out. I know everyone wants to try to make it even everywhere, but things go in cycles, and who knows who's going to be good next year or the year after. So, Franklin leaving Mooresville. Tante's pulling his weight and saying, "We gotta get out of here."
Hey, that's going to be headlocks versus headlocks, Jeff and Franklin. We're going to go to Greco rules at regionals.
Hey, Danny's the president of the Coaches Association. He'll get it done just for regional. It's Greco.
I'm throwing that in the chat right now. Headlocks versus headlocks.
It's going to be you're heading to Greco City. You got to wrestle Greco. Jeez, this is going to take 3 hours.
Far. How far is Franklin to Jeffersonville?
I mean, it's got to be hour and a half, couple hours. I mean, it's a weird move for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it says Indian Creek's going to Jeans County sectional. Maybe Franklin's going with them.
Oh, we gotta get to
all right. Okay. You're right. Let's go.
So
you guys won't get through 2 semi-states tonight. You won't get through 14 weights at one semi-state with me tonight. So.
It's about an hour and a half.
I think everyone always says, "Man, you gotta stay on track." But once you get the chat going, it's hard, right?
Yeah, all right. I'm only on here once a year. I'm gonna milk it.
So 120, Blake Zirkelbach returning semifinalist, Dominic McFeely from Cascade, Lane Kirshner from Jennings County. Got a little pride there, Dustin. I think you're in Jennings County still now. Braden Lane, Tell City. Pretty good quarter bracket, 8, 14, and 13 from semi-state.
Yeah, hey, I was looking through some Indiana wrestling history the other night, and I saw Modern Day had a Zirkelbach state champ at 100 pounds. So I wonder I'm sure there is the tie to Blake, but it's a good quarter bracket. Lane's the one unranked guy, and he's pretty good. I think a middle school state placer last year. He's won multiple, I think, freestyle state championships. So he's no slouch. Braden Lane's pretty good. Dominic Feely's pretty good. Zirk, I think, just kind of has a little bit of a separation there based off his what he's done to get to this point and the schedule and all that. So I have Zerk coming out of there.
Yeah. Going down. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Dude, and you're talking about a guy that's like every week, man. Every week that's been a grind, right? Every single week that guy's had to wrestle like a state tournament, basically.
Yeah.
No, Caleb, no. Going down, I got Logan Miller, number 1 in the state champ 2 years ago, wrestling real well right now. Jared Dunn, Seth Cowden from Northview, and then Zane Shrek from Corydon Central. Obviously, like you said, took his first loss and then did not get the number 1 he wanted. Not that he'd get any easy number 1s there. You got Zirkelback, Gilbert, or Zirkelback, Gilbert, or Miller. Those aren't good.
I think when I wrote the article, I said like there's terrible draws, but the whole flipping brackets, it could be a terrible draw. Yeah. I mean, once we get to the bottom half, we talk about this quarter bracket, that bottom half is just absolutely ridiculous. But Logan Miller having a great year coming back for Brownsburg. Great article in the Indianapolis Star a couple weeks ago. I'm buddies with his dad, Jason. We talk, if not once a week, surely every 2 weeks we're texting each other. So Logan, a terrible draw for Zane Shrek, which I brought up earlier, but Logan kind of comes out of there, I think, to that quarter bracket.
Oh man, you're talking about a quarter bracket with what? 6, 7, 9 losses and between 4 guys.
Yeah.
Seth Cowden, I don't believe had a loss coming into the sectional.
Yeah.
And then obviously Shrek didn't either.
And it's not that we're sleeping on Seth Cowden. It's just, man, what a draw.
Yeah. Really good. Like you're right. Really good article in the Indy Star. I mean, I think it's tough, man. That's a guy you probably talk to and say, hey, I bet a lot of people go through that. Like last year, what he went through and kind of getting burnt out a little bit. I think that's a huge part of it. But I'm glad he's back and having a lot of success.
Yeah.
Good family. Dad's a good dude.
Yeah, he's overcome some pretty shoddy genetics too, which is amazing. I mean, when you look at Jason, you do not see athletic.
Joe Caprino, wasn't it you, Indy?
Yeah. Joe Caprino and Jason Miller were separated at birth. I will hold that till the day I die. Like they are brothers from the same mother.
I've already found region blood running through him, man. Jason's from Lowell, man.
He's a region guy, right?
Yeah, spread it out, man.
I've already found one estranged brother a few years ago. Won't surprise me if I have another. That's a story for another day. But going down the bottom half of the bracket, got Lane Gilbert, Dawson Slaughter from Jeffersonville. That's a good name. Logan,
because that whole half bracket slaughter. Like we need some music playing when we talk about this bottom half of the bracket. It's crazy.
See, this whole 120 bracket is like one that like they're gonna look at that. It's gonna have low rankings. They're gonna be like, why did you miss so many guys in the rankings? Because they're all ranked out of 120 out of Evansville. And which one of these guys would you not want to rank?
Right.
I mean, we'll finish today, but like all these guys deserve their ranking. It's a recognition. But man, this thing is brutal. 7
of the 8 guys in this bottom half are ranked in the top 25.
Yeah, and I think Braden Lane's been ranked at some point as a freshman sophomore runner-up. Dude, it's tough, man.
Yeah, that's
and we don't get wrestlebacks.
Not like wrestlebacks would help any. That's the thing, because if you had to wrestleback, you'd have to go through up top. You'd have to go through Zirkelback, or Miller.
Yep.
You'd have to go through there.
Logan Miller's in the chat right now. We could do a little Q&A with him. He keeps responding in the chat. Logan, go smack your dad and get off the chat so we can talk.
I mean, like I know like the entire semi-state's tough, man. It's really good. But sometimes I'm like confused. Like when you're like looking at your weight and some of these guys have like some flexibility in their schedule and their lineup, why would you want to go the weight with 9 dudes that are ranked at your semi-states?
Yeah.
Right?
Spread that out, man. You guys can get multiple medals.
I mean, this thing, like, if these would go out to rankings, you'd have a wrestleback match between Courtney and Syra, and then the winner would get the loser of Zirkelback and Miller, just to go to state. I mean, there's no easy path if you have wrestlebacks.
And dude, I'm telling you, like, and we do it like when I do the state rankings, I kind of clear it and then I just write it back on. So like however it goes, we line it up. A lot of these dudes are in like the watch list. There's probably about another 4 or 5 that are like in the watch, Like, hey, like these are guys that are like right on the cusp also.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a brutal half bracket. Courtney, Ellis,
Yeah, so
Gilbert.
Courtney Gilbert, possible ticket around, but Logan Ellis isn't bad. He's good. He's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, 30-6. Castle Russell's a pretty solid schedule. We got Noah Likens, Miss Kessinger, Cesar,
This is a disgusting quarter.
Egley was what, semi-state champ last year?
This right here is like why Evansville's so good, but also so bad. Like if you're going to Evansville, you got to get there early. You have to. Like these could like in a lot of like Joe, like come on, let's be real. Like if these guys were at Fort Wayne, you'd want these guys Likens, Kissinger, Sarah, Egley, and then, like those guys would all fit in there somewhere and get out, right?
Yeah. Yes. They would go up weights or down weights. Here they didn't have it. I mean, what, you're gonna go down to 13? That's not gonna help you any. Going up to 26 is just as tough. So
hey, this is why Brendan's living with Joe once he hits high school, and it's going to be a supercharger.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Kessinger, I think I nicknamed him like the assassin or something like that in the article because he hits that. I won't give the move away, but he hits the move. It's lights out. He beat Egley at Modern Day Classic with it, and he's beat 2 or 3 other ranked guys with it this year. I mean, you know, he's somebody where the wrong position gets hit in the mat, it's over just like that. So
and
I mean, that whole bottom bracket.
Year.
Yeah, beat Courtney, the same thing. I saw that match. They sent me some Floyd guys sent me a video of it. I mean, you know, the assassin, man. Watch out for Vince Kessinger. Don't sleep on him.
Yeah, and I think he's big for the weight too, right? Like his picture.
His dad's a cop and scares me to death, so I'm not going to vote against Vince Kessinger because I don't want Todd coming to my house hunting me down. So,
Noah Likens, ultra tough. Had a real good Al Smith, beat Ike Rubel there. Dude, Noah Likens been tough for a long time too. Cesar, real tough freshman, and Egley first match. That's brutal, man. I know they've wrestled this year, right?
Yeah. I thought they wrestled because I think
they don't have it in the notables. Maybe they didn't.
I don't think they have wrestled because Avon doesn't go.
Yeah,
I don't think never mind. Modern Day this year, right?
Adam's right. Like Fort Wayne at 120, that was a bad pick. 120 in general is just one of those weights. Yeah, Rubel, Brady, Brooks, Holloway, that's pretty good too, and Mosier.
Yeah,
and but 120 is like one of those weights. It's always a catch-all. Like you get 6s coming up, and guys like Lane Gilbert. It's like I'm just gonna like stay 120.
Yeah, that's the 120. I heard at one point they didn't think he'd make 120. And he went, yeah, I'm gonna make it just to do this. So
yeah, just a brutal weight. We'll go down 126. A little bit easier weight. Harrison May from Terre Haute South up top. Jaden Owsley from Corydon. Michael Tharp from Center Grove, and Landon Horning from Evansville Memorial. So,
Joe Stanley said Egley beat Sarah 2-0. I thought he did. We didn't have it on our ranking sheet.
That's ridiculous. So we'll put that in
that's
there.
Gonna be the first match. Yeah, that's gonna be the first match at semi-state. So, get your popcorn ready, sit down, get settled in.
Were they have pork nachos there, Dustin? Is that the? I think that's what Quinn said he's getting.
Pork nacho. You hit Starbucks in the morning. Pork nachos midday.
Nice.
You get me that press pass, I can sneak into the hospitality room and get some pizza at some point. It would be great.
Yeah, we're working on. I gotta make you a press credential card. So that's on my to-do list.
I haven't had a fake ID since high school. That's gonna be awesome. Hey, I have my first. So when there's a quarter bracket that I don't agree with, we call it the triple B guarantee. So I think I'd have to look it up. I think they had Michael Tharp getting out. The voters did. I went with Harrison May, man. Harrison May. I've got some texts about him this year. I don't want to get him in trouble with his coach, but he's even emailed me. We've had some email conversations where he'll email me and ask me questions about rankings, and we have some pretty good discussions through email. So Harrison May is my first triple B guarantee of the bracket. He's going to steal that quarter bracket.
Nice.
Man, he has Michael Tharp got a tough one right off the bat.
Yeah.
And Horning's good too from rights.
Yeah. Tough freshman there. That's a tough, not gonna, you can't sleep on, you have to be ready in the morning. So that'd be a good quarter bracket. Justice Thornton going down. Justice Thornton from Columbus North, Branson Weaver from Owen Valley, Zach Traylor from Evansville Wright, and then Braden Haynes from Brownsburg. Another, typical bracket, 3 ranked guys. Evansville
Yeah,
got
so
killing
Justice
the
Thornton-
rankings.
Justice Thornton's had a great year. Obviously, 2 lost freshmen. Northwest was a pretty good schedule. But then, bam, oh, hey, you got Braden Haynes in the ticket round freshman. So,
Dude, right off the bat, you got Branson Weaver.
Yeah, Branson
Owen
Weaver
Valley,
before that. So.
who I know he's wrestled KT, lost height to KT. I believe he had his 4 losses are probably not slouches. I don't know what happened with the the regional. Kelby Glenn beat him. Paul King, 2 pretty tough guys.
That was a tough regional. Those 4 dudes there: May, Weaver, King, and I'm sleeping on somebody. The 4th. Kelby Glenn. Those were all 4 good dudes.
Yeah, he lost, and then he lost in the semis to Hot from Martinsville, who's also super good. He was in that just ridiculous bracket at Mooresville, but he has 4 legit losses. Like, that's going to be right off the bat. Justice Thornton, 36-2. Branson Weaver, Owen Valley, 29-4. Again, that's going to be tough.
Going down.
That's not even Mooresville doesn't even affect that one either. That's just how tough the semi-state is. That's a Bloomington South Jeff draw there. So.
Yeah, and then Haynes, pops one to take around. That's not easy. Yeah, so you got a 4-1, which could be a possible 4-1. I don't know where you guys pick your 4-1s. I know we do, where we do East Chicago, but that's gonna be a tough one right off the bat, and then the winner gets a returning state qualifier.
Yeah, nice little quarter bracket. Then you got going down, Joey Butler, returning state placer. Brendan Elpers from Mater Dei. Can't sleep on a 13-13 Mater Dei kid. Kelby Glenn, Tell City. Colin Kane from Jeffersonville. So you got only 2 ranked guys, and this is a pretty weak quarter bracket. Only 2 ranked guys.
Hey, I ate crow a year ago on Joey Butler, so I'm not gonna eat crow this year. Butler gets out. I don't think I am getting out a year ago, and he placed at state. So.
He had an awesome match with Ike Rubel. That match, what was that, in the quarters?
Yeah, quarters.
Where they were just tossing up points. Those guys were that was like probably one of the better quarterfinal matches. Bounced back off a tough loss. He's getting better, man. Because I know, like, his dad, he sat with us at the state finals when he was a freshman. He's like, oh, he's gonna be really good. And I was like, okay. I think he wrestled up. He might have been a 26 then, and then went down.
Yep. And then going down, you got Cameron KT Nelson. He's back. He's one you cannot overlook. Caleb Weiss from Franklin. That'll be a doozy on in the morning. Bo Wagner, Columbus East. Don't ever sleep on a 15-loss Columbus East guy. Paul King, who's had some good wins over his career for New Albany. So that's another pretty tough quarter bracket. 2 ranked guys battling out, 1 and a 4. KT's having a pretty good year, and he's gonna shake some stuff up. It's pretty tough.
He's trying to bookend this with medals, right?
Yeah.
Medal as a freshman, took the medal off, coming back as a senior, couple-time IPO finalist in there in the middle.
Yeah. He's tough.
He would just go and wrestle the IPO, be in the finals, and then take the year off.
You don't need to wrestle. You do well at IPO. You don't need to wrestle during the season.
I think I seen his dad posting like this summer. He's like putting up fences. I need a fence put up. We're on different ends of the state, but I'll throw a guy some business. But that's a tough one out the bat. I'm sure Coach Tante is going to have Weiss ready. I know he's had some big wins, had some big pins. I think he's a pinner.
Yeah, you're going to have to get after KT from the get-go there. Any comments there, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, Weiss knocked off Butler at sectionals with a big move, so I would not. Again, that's a match I wouldn't want to miss. I mean, it could go Tech Fall KT, it could go Pinfall Weiss, it could be a battle back and forth. You just never know. So, and then King, he cut a bunch of weight to get. He wanted 26 this year, so he's been down there competing. All of his 6 losses, I believe, are all pretty legit losses. So he's been in and out with injuries. He missed a couple tournaments, but King, KT, Weiss.
He wrestled pretty high at IPO. He was 48 at IPO.
Yeah.
Because I think I had him at 38. They're like, nah, he's going to be at 26. I'm like, that's one of those ones you're like, all right, man, I'm going to put that in pencil.
Going down, we got 132. Hey, only an hour in, we got 132. Coy Hammock, Tell City, Matthew Herman from Modern Day, Wyatt Krejcia from Center Grove. Boy, I bet he wishes he was in the Fort Wayne semi-state. Kellen Carter, Scottsburg. So now they're pretty good quarter bracket. Two top 10 guys there. Terrible draw.
Coy Hammock's really good, and I think I seen that their family had posted that they're dealing with some stuff right now.
Yeah, I wanted to say prayers to the Hammock family. His older brother had a heart attack, and they're going through some stuff. So best wishes out to all the Hammocks. A great family for sure.
Yeah, really good family, and he's not old. It's not like he's an older kid, man. That's scary.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like as parents, that's something you never want. So I'm sure, kind of getting away from, and hopefully, it's never out of your mind. But hopefully, he can go there and, enjoy a day and kind of lose himself in that, and hopefully, he gets better. I think they posted he was getting better, which is the most important thing. But it's just, I seen that, and it was like one of those things that was really shocking. So, but. On the wrestling side, Modern Day is always going to have really tough guys. Coy Hammock's really good. That's a huge jump, 13 to 32, and he's undefeated. And they've wrestled some really good kids, some really good teams. But that's going to be a tough – I mean, I don't know much about the Scottsburg kid. Is that down there by you guys, Scottsburg?
Yeah, Kellen has wrestled in our club a little bit, like 20 minutes down the road. He's had, a great year. He was winning the regional final last week, and I think gave up some points at the end that potentially might cost him a state appearance now, but 35, what was it? 43 wins. He puts in work. He works out at Invicta. His dad, me and his dad talk all the time. So just a terrible draw. I mean, I don't know that he can overcome that, but he'll be a name we'll talk about for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I think that's tough, man. We talk about that a lot. Like winning your regional is so important. I mean, at the Evansville semi-state, they're all going to be tough matches. But that's tough, man. Wyatt, right off the bat, 33-4, having a real good season. Yep. You see that 3, and you're like, oh, man, maybe, that's going to be a tough ticket around. Coy Hammock, Wyatt Krejcia is going to be real good.
Yeah. Going down.
Possibly. I ain't sleeping on your Scottsburg guy, man. I ain't sleeping on Carter.
No, it's all right.
Odin Fortune from Evansville Wrights, Kane Mobley from Owen Valley, Noah Kane from Jeffersonville, and Brady Eisen from Brownsburg. So Eisen took his first loss, and then runs into another ranked guy there from the Fortune, obviously winning his semi-state, thinking he'll be all right, and then runs into Eisen. So another just brutal quarter bracket.
Well, there's 2 hammers coming out of Mooresville there.
Yeah.
And those guys, I think they've been trading wins and losses the last couple of years, right? Between him and Chef.
Yeah.
Man, just having those 2 schools there just created some awesome rivalries through the years. But Brady Eisen's another guy, 35-1 sophomore, semifinalist. It's going to be a tall order. And then, I mean, just the top 4 coming out of here, however they shake out, it's going to be really good.
Yeah. So going down, Nathan Anderson, Columbus East, the token 19-14 regional champ. Eli Brooks, Whiteland, come back from, I assume, injury. He's one that can, mix some things up there. Colton Schneider from Mount Vernon, and then Ethan Raudebush from Bloomington South, having a pretty solid season. They usually have a pretty good schedule. Only one ranked guy there, and only 25th ranked guy in that quarter bracket. So that's probably the weakest quarter bracket in that semi-state, but still some pretty solid guys. I mean, Brooks, you can't sleep on. I know he's had some good wins over the years, and obviously you never count out a Columbus East kid that wrestles a good schedule.
Yeah, Brooks actually got the, however you want to call it, got the points to advance out of that when you read the semi-state preview. But I mean, like you said, a 14-loss Olympian isn't a bad wrestler at all. Nathan Anderson's good, Brooks is good, and then Raudebush has the name. There are 3, I think, Raudebushes at Bloomington South. So any of those 3 guys, whoever shows up ready to go will get it. That's one of the rare, like you said, Joe, quarter brackets where anybody could win that quarter bracket.
Yeah. Last quarter bracket, Cheney Chef, Wyatt Johnson from West Washington, Coy Bender from Terre Haute South, and then Aiden Amento, who is he's a state qualifier as a sophomore, I believe. So that's not a good draw for Amento, running into Chef, but should be a good take around match right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Chef's real good, man. Sorry, but
yeah, Chef's good. It's terrible for Aiden being a senior to get that draw, but Central hometown boys, you can never count them out. But Cheney and Brady are the kind of creme de creme of the bracket, and maybe two of the top 5 wrestlers in the semi-state. So I think the big story is it's like Ice and Chef 9 or 10 that they wrestled in the last 2 years, and we'll get to see it one more time at Evansville. And in the article I say, and this, Mike, you were talking about this earlier, like, and the winner might not even make the state finals, because where does Zeke fall when they get to state? Like, if I'm looking at wanting a state championship, and I get it, like, you want to beat the best to wrestle the best, but your reward could potentially be 3rd place in the state because you might land on the same side as Zeke Seltzer at state. Like, that's what happened last year. Cheney loses at semi-state to Brady, but gets state runner-up because Zeke and Brady fell on the same side of the bracket. So
I mean, that could be a quarterfinal match. That could be Saturday morning.
Yeah, right.
That's the other round that there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just it's how it shakes out. You could have that state quarterfinal match is like, hey, cool, we're throwing it to the wolves, man. Have at it. Some of those are better than the semis.
Oh, I love Saturday morning. Saturday morning in the quarters is, to me, like you said, better than the semis.
That's like a round I feel like really good coaches win. You want the guy, like, you just watch. Like, we've had the privilege of being, like, real close. And you just see the coaches that's in those guys' ear, and they're like, all right, man, we're ready to go. And then some of the guys are just, like, chilling, hanging out. Maybe that works for them, but, you see a lot of the same teams winning that quarterfinal match, and that's where the state championships won for a team.
Definitely. So 138, top of the bracket, Ashton Heyhurst from Castle, former Mater Dei. Oh, he started out at Castle, went to Mater Dei, qualified there as a sophomore, back home in Castle, so in Paradise. Literally, Castle was in Paradise, Indiana. You guys did not, if people outside of Indiana didn't know, or the South didn't know that. And then Emmett Wilhite from Madison, hometown Cub there. Luke Knable. He did. I did originally have him as a junior, and according to Sisson, he does have enough credits to graduate this year, so we're going to graduate him.
Oh, same thing with Emmett Wilhite. Emmett Wilhite, he won't wrestle next year because he's graduating early. So
getting into the workforce. Then they got Malik Stansberry, who he's one that I've seen his name. I swear he's been around for about 6 or 7 years. Stansberry's been in and out of the rankings before, and I know he's had some good wins, so that's going to be a good first round match there. And Knable, and then obviously Heyhurst right there. Should be a good quarter bracket.
Yeah, real good quarterback here. Heyhurst down a weight class from last year too, which is always like an interesting move. You don't get to see a lot. A lot of guys go up, not a lot of guys go down a weight. 11-0. Knable, Stansberry be good, really good off the bat. Knable is a guy also that's got better every single year. He's been there. He seems like a good kid. I've always thought he looked pretty good out there. Stansberry's a guy, like, you get his results and you're like, man, this guy's an animal. Then you get some like weird results too, where you're like, that's a weird loss. So it kind of keeps him on that like cusp of ranking, but a guy that can probably make a deep run.
Hey, so I won't do the whole stories. They'll be in the write-up, but great story about years ago. I was in a bar and some people asked me to come sit with them, just kind of guess who I was, big guy, whatever. And I heard a great story about the next rise, the next run in Castle wrestling. And it took till some of them were seniors, but it finally played out. I didn't think I'd ever see it. So I want the story will be in the article when it goes up in the morning, whenever Joe posts it. But anyway, the Castle guys got to be like happy as heck that they got their crew back together for one last run. So
yeah, Castle's pretty good guys. So yeah,
I feel bad for Luke Knable, especially now that you tell me he's a senior, 30-4. He's always kind of been in the shadow of Allstott and those guys. And I think everybody in the South thought this was the year Knable got through and maybe contended for the podium. He just ran into Cash. I don't even know if it was the Cash that beat him last week or the other. I'm not sure if Cash or Bush beat him last week, but he ran to one or the other, and that's thrown him into this draw. So, Sisson's got his work cut out for him there.
It's Dustin misspoke. He was at a Bible study, not a bar. He was at a Bible study, and that's when he ran into.
Hey, I mean, again, the Castle drinking stories always here are epic, like regional, like beer bongs, and maybe we should go slam a beer every time a 4 beats a 1 Saturday. We'll run out to the parking lot and make it happen. I don't know.
That would not be a good thing to do out there. That sounds like some region type stuff. Anytime a Logansport regional guy goes down.
I thought you guys heard it was shots of vodka every time a 4-over-1. I used to think Logansport was throwing matches.
Every time Logansport 1 goes down, you got to take a shot.
Yeah. But every now and again, a Logansport 4 take down a Region 1, and you got to chug a whole bottle. It's tough.
Anytime a Logansport 4 scores a point, you have to take a shot.
No, there's been times. I think one year they had 4 really good heavyweights, and they took down I think it was at Calumet Regional. And they're like, I remember I got like 4 emails in a row, and it was like people had never emailed me. It was like, yeah, take that one, Logansport, bringing it back. And I was thinking like, you never told me anything. How would I know?
Should I hide the contact the rankers post for
No,
a couple
I like
weeks?
it. No, I love it.
Uh-oh.
Hey, if we give those guys, yeah, Eric's my dude, man. I'm giving Eric the business right now, but no, I like it though. Those guys are good people, man. So if you can give it, you gotta be able to take it, right? If you give a little bit, like if I was out here just getting my feelings hurt every time someone came at me, then I wouldn't be the guy for the job.
Yeah. This is going to be the longest episode ever. Anyway,
and that's why we're going to be here 3 hours tonight. So
every single time someone questioned my rankings and put my address out there to come fight me, this would be a long life.
last time someone did that, he got a little vacation from the website.
Yeah. No, my luck, it'd be like someone real tough knocking on my door. Like, hey, is that Brock Lesnar? Yeah, you posted this out here for someone to come fight you? Like, oh, great. That's what I wanted, John Jones.
Reeve Muncie's dad.
Yeah. I'll pass.
No, he's a good guy. Anyway, going down. We're almost halfway through. Reese Fisher from Columbus East, having a good year. Regional champ. He's got number 16 in the semi-state. Devin Heinzman. Definitely a lot better names in Evansville, not the cultural diversity of the region. Silas Stitz from Center Grove, and then Evan Raudebush, pretty tough freshman from Bloomington South. I know he gets beat up by his brothers, I'm sure, and having a pretty solid season. I think he's kind of underrated at 20, down there. I think he's one that you could see in the rankings, next 3 years. I can guarantee he's probably going to be in the top 20 in the rankings. So pretty good quarter bracket.
Yeah, one of the better quarter brackets. Fisher beat Stitz in a tight match. It might have been overtime, might have been a point. Stitz has beat Raudebush, and Raudebush has beat Fisher once or twice. So they've all beat each other. It's just, how does it fall? Who wins that first match between Stitz and Raudebush, and how does that affect the match with Fisher potentially in the quarterfinals? So that's a triple B quarter bracket to watch there. They've all beat each other.
Nice. That's why we have Triple B on here. He has that information. Going down, you got Cash Turner. He's gonna ride you. You're not gonna be able to buck him off. Great article on him early in the season. If you didn't check it out, check it out. Garrett Hicks from Cascade, another Cascade guy there. Tyler Vanover from Mater Dei, then Jacob Llewellyn from Charlestown. Pretty solid. Another solid quarter bracket of. Turner's having a real good season. State placer as a freshman, jumped up some weights, and now looks like he's settling in there. Tough kid. Obviously, he writes bowls for fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
punch him in the face. It's not going to do anything.
No, yeah, great article. And Cash is a good kid. Comes from a good program. Coach Ratliff. I think he's the favorite to win that quarter bracket.
Yeah, Tyler Vanover, 28-10, Mater Dei sophomore. I think that's a little deceiving too. I think he's pretty talented. I think he's caught some pretty tough matches.
Yeah. Last quarter bracket: Gavin Garcia, Brownsburg, AJ Sauer from Terre Haute South, Gabe Rose from Switzerland County, and then Keegan Williams from Evansville Memorial. Williams was a state qualifier last year. Garcia was a qualifier, ran into some Jesse Mendez guy. First round, number 4 and 9. That's gonna be a great match. Obviously, hey, we got Williams. We had a good article on him also. Got Rose. You don't see Switzerland County very much. I think they're a pretty new program, aren't they, Dustin?
They've been around for a while, but you're going to hear that name. They've got some kids coming through that's middle school state placers. They travel to Invicta and Spatola, and they train. Gabe Rose actually wrestled middle school in Madison. And then when he hit high school, he lived in Switzerland County. They transferred back to Switzerland County for high school. But he's a name we'll be talking about in 2 to 3 years, probably next year, even competing for state qualifier and state placement. He definitely, I think, was top 5 at middle school state last year at like 130-ish. So he's pretty good.
Yeah, that'll be good experience.
Gavin Garcia, a real good year, man. Went up and won that Michigan tournament. Only 2 losses at Crown Point. He lost to Mendez in the finals of the Carnahan, and then bumped up and lost to Tatini in the state duel. So his last 3 losses in Indiana have been to Crown Point.
Not bad.
Huh. So as long as he misses Crown Point, man.
145. Getting some interesting schools here. Lodi Cheatham from Borden. I think they're a newer program. Pretty positive they just started the program a couple years ago.
Second year program.
Nice.
Second year wrestler too.
Oh wow. Wins a pretty solid regional. You got Kale Schmidt from Jasper, Anthony Oliver from Ben Davis, and then Alex Smith from Heritage Hills. You got 13-22 first round. Should be interesting. Borden getting possibly right in position to get a qualifier in their second year of a program. That's pretty good. Oh, third year. Come on, Dustin, you're fired.
Sorry, Mr. Freeman. My bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of programs that wait a lot longer than that to get their first day qualifier.
Yeah.
Cheatham was he got the pick from the voters to get through, but I mean, Alex Smith and Anthony Oliver are no slouches either. Kel Schmidt from Jasper, a senior, but the voters did kind of go with Cheatham. I think the sentimental choice was Lodi Cheatham.
Yeah.
Anthony Oliver's had some really good matches. I know that was a guy that Quinn was real high on, like last year when he was at Ben Davis. Like that's a guy's just real tough regional to navigate his way through there. You see him a lot of the summer stuff and what he's done, and that could be this could be a good spot for him. I think he landed in a good spot. Like obviously, nothing's easy, but not the death draw that some of these other guys are getting.
Definitely.
I just got a message that Cheatham's has a win over Smith too, so there's that.
Oh, probably should have reported it and been in the he'd have been in the rankings.
I'm getting texts and messages and everything, man. The Dirty South, man, they love their wrestling. They just don't know how
we get them all the time too. Usually they're I hate you and you're wrong.
Well, I just blame you guys when people come at me. I say it's Joe and Mike, man. I do the best I can for you guys. So
yeah,
that's what.
I'm just kidding.
I say, whenever they say, man, why isn't my kid ranked? I said, why didn't you tell Triple B?
Okay, maybe they did report it. I can't navigate to the site because of the window here. So yes. But yes, Jared, I believe you do report you do kind of tell you who the vote, because tell everyone, I guess, how you do your article. So the new people, like your.
Yeah. So we have, I recruit 5 guys from across our area. I try to get a diverse selection, so it's not all kind of homer picks. So I have, guys from out west, guys from down south, guys from up north, and we all vote. And since there's an odd number that keeps ties from ever coming out, so whoever gets the most points, we put number 1, 2, 3, and 4 down through there. If you get a vote and you didn't go in, we'll call you. Like, don't sleep on you. We'll give some credit for people that get votes. A Ford Tough Lock is somebody that gets all 5 first place votes. We had 6 of them this year. That might have been the first we've had so many. And then we have the terrible draws that I kind of go through and pick those out. Anytime there's a top ranked kids, we'll do the terrible draw, and then the best curtain jerk, the Barry Horowitz curtain jerker is the best opening round matches. So, we just want to give love to as many people as we can and stress the importance of every round of wrestling. Like, you don't want to be, we're going to go to the semis. If you went to the semis, you probably missed some of the best wrestling of the day. So,
yeah. So that's a little bit of a rundown. He said he has it done, so we'll get it posted in the morning. So, whenever I get it, I'll probably throw it out there. So going down 145, Nicholas Casalicio from good old Italian name from Bloomington South, Evan Bowling from Salem, Nick Akers, North Posey, and Blaze Garcia, Brownsburg. 3 ranked guys there. Garcia he's going to try to do the bookend also. Qualified as a freshman, and now looking to qualify again and bring back a medal. Navigatable path for him, but not one that you can take any breaks, because both Akers and Casalicio are pretty good.
Hey man, we should call Blaze Garcia like AJ Soprano, right? He's like the Hendricks County Mafia. He's like the son of the chosen one, Mr. Garcia. I mean, we could rename him Soprano and just poke him on through. So
that's
County Mafia hashtag Pain Train Blaze Garcia, baby.
I always say Blaze is my favorite Garcia too.
Shot man, we're throwing bombs tonight. Hate mail coming in 3.
The worst draw is coming out his regional, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, if the worst draws in your regional, like you don't have to like sweat it as much. You're not gonna get a chance to get Hayden Watson in the ticket round. But Blaze had a good season. I believe he's the only person that hasn't give up bonus points. Chris is in there. I knew it was coming. He's the only person that hasn't given up a bonus point win to Sam going this year, and he bumped up a weight.
Yeah, I can see Gibbs coming. Yes, you can. So yeah, going down, you got Hayden Watson, Center Grove, Gabe Vogel from Mater Dei, not a good draw for him. Carson Nyhouse from Southridge and Bradley Owen from Jeffersonville. Watson turning finalist in the state, pretty solid year so far. Looks like he's a heavy favorite here.
Yeah, I mean, Hayden Watson returning state runner-up, 35-1. I mean, yeah, it's Hayden Watson's bracket there.
Was he a 4 tough lock? Little preview.
Yeah, Hayden Watson was a 4 tough lock. That is correct.
Nice.
I was guessing. That was a guess.
Yeah, that's a solid guess.
Yeah. The last quarter bracket, you got Lee Spencer. I heard he has this guy has 2 good ACLs. I haven't heard he doesn't have any ACLs, but maybe that's why Spencer Lee is this his alter ego? Spencer Lee's alter ego? Yeah, is he wrestling at Castle? So is that why he's redshirting? But one of the best names in the state right there. Braden Spears from Plainfield. Wasn't he a former Madison guy?
Braden Spears, Triple B trained. I grew up with Braden Spears, had him since he was 4 years old. I'm taking that win when he gets it. I'm going to shout it across the room when Braden Spears is a state qualifier. Triple B trained. I don't care what Brewer says about Red Cobra. Triple B trained Braden Spears.
This is why we can only bring Dustin on one time a year.
He's getting us the dirt, man.
I know. So then you got Kenton Wilson, Columbus East, Nate Lomack from Terre Haute South. Definitely a quarter bracket that's Spears is, rankings wise, probably the favorite, but it's kind of a pick'em quarter bracket. Gonna win you pick'ems right there.
I think Lomack's been pretty high in the rankings at other points during the season too. He's pretty tough. I think he came down a weight to start the year off. I believe he was 52. Had some real good wins.
He's qualified for semi-state at 52 and 60. He's going the reverse. He's reverse Sammy going. He's going down weights.
4 trips to the semi-state. Yeah, they just put it in there. I know he's had some real good wins. He's a guy that's when he get his summer wins, you're like, wow, he's right in the mix. That's a toss-up. You're right. That's a kind of a pick'ems for a quarter bracket.
So,
but if Braden Spears trained with Triple B, how can you go against him?
Yeah, I'm not. You got 152. We're halfway through now. 2 hours in.
That's it?
Now we're now a little hour and a half. So we got Nick Cicerelli, Brownsburg, Peyton Bell, Evansville North, Blake McLaughlin, Salem, and then Ian Geisler from Jasper. Cicerelli, a little bit of a heavier favorite here. Still, Geisler is pretty solid, I'm pretty sure. Dustin will give us the lowdown on this quarter.
Hey, I got nothing. I got no lowdown. Cicerelli, I think, is the heavy favorite, and I would be shocked to not see him in the semi Saturday.
So,
I agree.
Yeah, going down, you got Hunter May, Mater Dei, formerly of Floyd Central, was a 4th place finisher last year. Jude Barger, Franklin Community. I think Mr. Tante needs to talk to the bracket gods. He didn't get good draws here. Then
Yeah.
you got number 5 and 24, then Jaden Grant, New Albany, and Hayden Bartle from Jeffersonville. Real good curtain jerker there.
Yeah, I have May and Barger circled for a curtain jerker. That's going to be a great match. New Albany and Jeff, old rivals. Now they kind of go different ways, and they're not in the same sectional and regional anymore, so that could be a great match. But, I have May, another triple. I don't know if this was a Donnie Baker bet the boat guarantee or a triple B guarantee, but I got May winning that bracket. I mean, I know Rulemon's a state runner-up, no disrespect to anybody, but, I mean, I just think May's tough. I've watched him kind of grow up when he was at Floyd and followed him through the Invictus stuff, and maybe I'm a homer, but I like May winning the whole thing.
I think I don't know. He looked really injured when I seen him at IHSWCA State. Hopefully, obviously he's wrestling at a high level right now, but that'd be tough if he's still doing it on one leg. It's gonna be real tough to beat Roman, or if he's 60%, 70%. Roman's tough, but so is May. And again, not to kind of go back to the same thing. That semifinal match, if it plays out to rankings, which it never does, so sometimes it does. But that's gonna be huge for team points, and that could put you in a spot where one of those guys is gonna be at 3. You're gonna be drawing a 2 Friday night. There's a lot of 2s at 52 that are really good. A lot of 2s at 52 that are really tough.
Yeah. So last half bracket, got Eli Pollitt last late entry into the bracket or into sectional, so he won a late wrestle off, and we know he's been pretty solid. I think he had a little bit of an illness early in the season, didn't get back till about mid-season, and now starting to hit stride, which is kind of scary for a senior Columbus East that he's been through the gauntlet there. So Tice DuPont, Tell City, that's gonna be a heck of a first round match. I mean, Pollitt probably would have been. If you probably would have snuck him into the rankings, maybe low 20s, or mid 20s. I mean, I know he was right there, and then
he was there to watch those for sure. That's a tough one right off the bat. Tice DuPont's a returning freshman sophomore champ. I always like to look at those results, and I like to go back after 4 years and see kind of how those guys fall. But man, right off the bat, probably not the day Tice DuPont was looking to have at the regional.
Yeah. So then they'll get the winner of Brendan Chu from Heritage Hills and Andre Merritt from Center Grove. Pretty solid, quarter bracket, just top to bottom. Pollitt's without any rankings in front of him is a little deceiving. I know he would have had at least a semi-state ranking in there if he would have been. I think you had Ruse Tapia in the rankings, didn't you, Dustin?
Yeah, I had the guy in front of him that was in the bracket at sectionals in the rankings. I should be able to count him for a semi-state ranker since he replaced the ranked kid.
Yes, he did put a ranked guy in the wrestle-off, so technically that's a win.
That's right.
Andre Merritt's super explosive, man.
Yeah, and he was a late entry for Center Grove. He was a Whiteland kid. Is that?
Yeah, he's a Whiteland kid.
Yeah, so that's
Matt Kelly wants to let us know that May's good. He'll throw anybody from anywhere. Fun and frustrating. So, or not May. I mean Merritt. I have Merritt getting through. I think the picks did too. But yeah, I have Merritt getting through on my bracket.
Yeah, he's real explosive, real tough. Jumped in that lineup and started making some noise right away, right?
Yeah. Nothing like your first event being Team State.
Hey, can you imagine having to come in halfway and win a spot in that room with those guys? And if you're the guy losing that spot, can you imagine hey, this guy just came in halfway, he's about to take a spot.
Yeah. That's some fun juggling there. First world problems, I guess, at Center Grove.
Yeah.
The last quarter bracket, Delaney Roman returning runner-up, only one loss on the season. Liam Phillips from Columbus North, David Bode, and then of Decatur Central, and Luke Robards from Evansville Central. So you got a 3-11, pretty solid take-around match there.
Yeah. Robards, I believe, is a freshman sophomore champ too, right?
I believe
I don't have it in front of me. I know all 3 of his losses are the Hunter May this year, so that's got to be, again, kind of frustrating for him that all your losses are the Hunter May and you get Woolmon in the ticket round.
Yeah, beat Chase Leach 10-2 in the freshman sophomore state champion. David Abadi, I'm sure I'm butchering that. pretty tough. I know he had a real good Marion County. I think he was the 1 seed at Marion County at 52. But that's tough, man. That's a tough first round match. And that whoever wins that first round match is going to have a real tough ticket round.
160. You got another. This is like the semi-state of bookends. Chris Newman. He was a qualifier as a freshman at 106. Now he's up 160. So having a real good year, 33-2. Parker Rhodes from North Harrison, Aiden Reynolds from Bloomington South, Michael Hutchison from Cascade. Token 3 ranked guys, another semi-state ranked guy. We're back to normal right here. This quarter bracket, real tough quarter bracket.
Yeah, Chris Newman. I think he spent some time at 70 this year too. So that's a pretty nice jump from 6 to 70, back down to. Oh, they gave us the pronunciation. I like it. Aiden Reynolds, Michael Hutchison right off the bat. Michael Hutchison had a real good win over Weems a couple weeks back. I think that's what Cascade's gonna have to push some guys. I think they might have locked up a 1 seed auto bid already. I'm not sure. I think that regional plays as like a semi-state. So to sneak some teams through there with that one, that's 1A. It's pretty impressive. That's gonna be a real good first round. And then Newman's tough, man.
Yeah, that should be a good quarter bracket.
Hey, for my boys at Cascade, Quinn Harris and Travis Hutchinson, triple B guarantee. Michael Hutchison punches that ticket this weekend. I was in the minority, but man, good people, good kid. That program's been through a ton. Michael's a solid kid. He had that big win over Weems. He's going to punch the ticket. I really believe he's going to punch the ticket this weekend.
Triple B guarantees. Put the stamp on that.
Put the stamp on
it. Going down, you got Cade Law, Columbus East, having a great senior year. Returning 4th place finisher, 3rd or 4th. He was in the semis. Cale Johnson, Evansville North, Griffin Eisen, Brownsburg, and Jeb Pretchel from Jasper. Pretty solid quarter bracket. Obviously, I think Cade Law's the law of the land. He's a really bad pun, but he's having a real good year. He's gonna be in the mix, next week to wrestle under the lights.
Yeah, returning 3rd placer, real solid, man. I think he's solid in all positions too. You don't really. I think that's huge. He doesn't get out of position. Al Smith, 2-time Al Smith champ, missed a year.
Yeah. When
they had to cancel, he was a 3rd placer last year. Lost a tight one in the semis to Robert Major. Griffin Eisen, that's a guy who's been around for a long time. Middle school state champ coming in. Jeb Pretchel, from Jasper.
Pretchel, right?
Too. I'm not sure. I butcher names and just roll with it usually.
Hey, we'll get to see Law Conway too. Law, the Panther that got away. Jennings County coaches still drink every night over this, but we'll see Law Conway too. Overtime match at Hoosier Hills Conference. Both guys were super kind of tight. I was hoping they get hit with double stalling and kind of open up their offense because we really didn't see a lot till it got to overtime. But hey, if you ref that match this weekend, give them double stalling a minute in so we can see some wrestling.
Yeah, because double stalling incites 100% wrestling. So, good quarter bracket going down. Jay Conway, Floyd Central, returning state champ. Julian Weems, Center Grove, not the Center Grove draw you won. As a 4, you're not going to get much. You're going to either get Cade Law or Chris Newman. You're getting a tough draw. Weems looked a little bit injured in some of the video I've seen. If he's on, he's not going to be an easy first round match. I'm sure Coach Sisson and his jump rope did not want to see that 4 right there. Winner of that match gets Spencer Turner of Mater Dei, then Caden Owen from Corydon. So Corydon, I think someone else getting just the absolute worst possible draw.
Right, yeah, awful. But Weems hits the buzzsaw of Jay Conway. Weems has been battling an injury also, so luckily he's a freshman. He'll have more chances to come back. But
yeah, I thought he got injured. I don't know what he's injured right now, but I know he looked like he got injured at the Al Smith against Goodwin in the finals. That's tough, man. But he's ultra tough. I think that he's a guy that a lot of pins. He was pinning people all over the Al Smith. I think he was an unseated guy at the Al Smith. I remember we had him pretty well seated when we did the pre-seeds.
Yes,
And they hit you with the, well, he's a freshman. He hasn't done anything. And then he just pinned his way to the finals.
Yeah. I'm like, told you so.
Yeah, the classic, hey, he has to earn a seed because he's a freshman. Like, we don't have a ton of freshman information anymore.
Yeah, they don't wrestle anywhere. Going down the last quarter bracket's pretty juicy. Landon Bowe, Avon, formerly Plainfield, Noah Terry, Tell City, Nathan Ihausen, Jeffersonville, then Luke Kemper, Evansville Central, number 6 and 4, potentially take around match. That's gonna be a good one.
My head's in my hands shaking. Like, Kemper goes undefeated into sectionals, and then 2 losses to Newman, I believe, and now he gets this straw.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It was actually Kemper. The story earlier about the dad. It was the dad telling Luke, "That's the guy that picked against your brother when I picked against his older brother." It was the Kempers. That's awesome. Sorry, Kempers, but I didn't pick.
Are you picking against him again?
I did pick against him again.
Oh,
so,
man.
You didn't learn your lesson. Jeez.
Prove me wrong again.
That's a tough draw. Landon Bowe, obviously, real solid career, real tough. I think that's what's taking this long. It's not the in-between talk. It's that Joe keeps telling us where these guys used to go to school.
Yeah.
We didn't do that. We didn't do that in the region. When we did the region, we just said, hey, straight across the board, we ain't doing this.
We don't do no trend. Nice.
You'd be talking all day about Crown Point if you talked about old school.
Oh,
right?
man, we got to throw dirt on my guys, man. I thought we were going to talk about.
Sorry, Max. Don't come after me. I don't need all these police officers hunting me down. I take it back. Strike that from the record.
We need to. Oh, geez. 170. Up top, you got undefeated Ben Phillips from Charlestown, returning placer. Brady Denny from Monrovia. And then Ian Padden from Evansville Central. Chase Hostetler from Bloomington North. Pretty solid senior there. You got, Phillips is kind of the head of the class, but can't sleep on any of the other guys in that quarter bracket.
No, not at all. I mean, Madden, Evansville Central, we've talked about them a couple times. They wrestle a tough schedule. Chase Hostetler, Bloomington North. We don't hear a lot about Bloomington North anymore, and they wrestle a tough schedule. So both those guys there. But, hey, 2 dudes I slept on hardcore a year ago, and their dads both let me know about it, was Phillips and Joe Butler. So I'm not sleeping on Phillips this year. Phillips, phenomenal wrestler, had a great run last year to the podium, and I don't see any reason why that would change this year. So,
and Charleston's had a couple of pretty solid guys go through there, right? And he had a tough one Friday night last year. He had to beat a well-coached kid, right, Joe?
Yes. Unfortunately, he beat a well-coached kid. I know Hostetler had some good wins this offseason. I think he had, Ipo he wrestled. He beat, he lost to Kane Brewer 4-2. He had, he was like right in the round place in there, and where else? He had some good wins. I remember looking him up during the off season to see where because we weren't sure if he was at Bloomington North or South, because he wrestled for Bloomington South at Ipo. So pretty solid guy right there. Speaking of Brewer, going down, Brownsburg, Kane Brewer, freshman at 170, having a real good year. He's got Keller Despain from Columbus North, Landon Terry, another freshman from Tell City, then Aiden Farmer, another returning Oh no, he was the one that we did the article on the Farmers, not the Williams, from Evansville Memorial, returning state qualifier. So that's gonna be a good, 9 and 10, exactly how you'd seed it right there to go to state. So that should be a real good, senior versus a freshman. As we tell our kids, especially those upper weights, you got to be the senior to the freshman. You got to be a bully.
Hey, it's the one perfect bracket. If you look all the way down, you have 1, 2, 3 in separate quarters, and then 4 and 5 wrestling to get out of that quarter. Like, that's how. If they just let me seed the brackets, I don't. We'd have that all the time. But hey, I'm not going to bet against Brewer. I have Brewer with the upset. I love my upsets, and his dad and I are dart partners. We hustle people for darts, so I'm going to go with Caden Brewer in the upset there.
Anything to add, Mike?
Nah, man. Sounds like these guys need to find some dart competition. That's gonna be at Kilroy's Saturday night, celebrating medals. Triple B and Brewer.
I'm staying right next to Kilroy, so maybe I can walk there. We'll see.
You guys will be in the same hotel. At least I've heard. So going down, you got Cody Kwaja from
Punchbowl Social coming out. If you're gonna go get some darts, bring your money.
Jeez.
Hector says he's bringing a partner.
Here comes Hector. I won't play without Brewer because I just throw at the wall. He's the one that scores all the points. I just drink and throw. So
Hector, we'll go Punchbowl Social. Hector, Monica, co-ed doubles, bags.
Oh, geez. So going down, you got Cody Kwaja
coming out Monday.
Kwaja from Floyd Central, having a real good season, heading to Michigan after this year. Brady Hook, Mount Vernon Posey, and then you got a real good first round match, number 19 and 21, Vincent Tinoco from Whiteland and Tristan Statler from Columbus East. That's a pretty solid quarter bracket, and obviously you're going to have to be ready to wrestle in that ticket round. I wouldn't want to wrestle a Columbus East kid in the ticket round. So be ready. They're going to be pumped, and should be a good quarter bracket.
I looked up to see if Tristan and Cody had wrestled already, but of course East had a different 70-pounder at Hoosier Conference. Statler might have been up at 82 or down. Yeah. So they haven't wrestled yet, but Cody would be the favorite, I think. But again, like you just said, Joe, like I wouldn't want Tanaka or Statler in the ticket round. That's not the best draw ever. So
yeah, and Brady Hook's pretty tough also. Like that's a good quarter across the board. Brady Hook's had a nice career. That's not an easy one. I'm sure he's not going to be easy out. Tinoco's had some really good wins this year too.
Yeah. So speaking of a draw you wouldn't want, Brody Bauman having a great senior year.
Did Center Grove get another bad draw? Like, holy smoke. Matt Kelly, what did you guys do? Like, who did you upset, Matt Kelly?
So Brody Bauman, Victor Peter from Jasper, Tegan Trotter from Jennings County, then Noah Klauser having a real good sophomore year and gets a real tough draw. Obviously if he didn't, not winning, you're going to run into Kwaja, Bauman, or who else or Phillips. There's no easy draw there. I mean, you got all top 6 guys, all guys have been to state. So, win your regional.
Man.
Right. Yeah.
What's crazy is the depth of the Mooresville, and you look at it, and there's some young studs in there too. Like, I mean, they're a freshman, sophomore. Like Brewer's a freshman, Klauser's a sophomore. I mean, there's not a lot of ways where those guys are going to miss each other the next 4 years. Probably one of the bigger jumps in the state too, 32 to 70. It's a lot of eating going on. Yep. Brody Bauman's good, man. There's not a lot. It's tough. Like obviously we've seen him. I think he's going to be one of the favorites to be on Team Indiana when we go to, the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. I still want to call it Dapper Dan. Why don't they call it Dapper Dan anymore?
The first year, the year we went is when they changed it. I think the Dapper Dan's actually a charity, like a kids charity type thing, like a Shriners or something like that, I believe. Kind of that type of charity. And they're not aligned with them. They align with a different charity. I believe it's like the Boys and Girls Club of Pittsburgh or something of that nature. So they align with a similar level charity, but that was the reason they called it the Dapper Dan. Don't quote me on that. I'm fairly positive that's the story.
When I saw a brother wear out though, I thought like Dapper Dan, like Hair Pomade, was sponsoring the event and they went out of business.
A little bit deeper than that. They're actually pretty cool. I mean, I'll get off on a little bit of a tangent, but they, a lot of that event is for charity, for like the Boys and Girls Club, or it's something of that nature. I'd have to double check, but really cool that I didn't realize that until we got into it, and which is something that makes it even more prestigious. And these guys, there's a group of, about 10, 15 guys, it seems, that are involved in the running of the event and doing different things. And it's kind of their, thing to give back to the community in the Pittsburgh area, it's really cool.
A lot better than my story.
Yeah. Yes.
So now that you made me feel like a terrible human being, let's move on to 82.
182. Hey, we're almost done. I got Reed Schroeder, Southridge, having a real good junior year. Caleb Carroll, no relation to Christian, I do not believe. He's only 14-14. Liam Farmer, Cascade, and then Mitchell Hoppy from Evansville North. That's a pretty good quarter bracket. You got 11 and 19, and then a number 13 in the semi-state. Not a whole lot, not like crazy firepower, but a pretty good quarter bracket there.
No, yeah, that could be a good. I mean, Reed and Liam could be a good match. 3 and 5 in the semi-state, like you said. So, I mean, really, it could be a coin flip. You got two juniors, great records. I mean, who shows up ready? That'll be the thing.
There's been a lot of real successful hoppies from Evansville area. I mean, I'm sure if you go to that modern day book, there's a lot of them. So I'd be willing to bet the chances that they're not related along the line probably low. But that'd be a tough first round matchup right there for Farmer. But Quinn's gonna have him ready to rock. So he's had a good season. That'll be a tough one.
Yep. Going down, you got Jaden Durnell, one of 18 182 pounders Columbus East has wrestled this year, having a good senior year, number 14 in the state. Alex Rose, Terre Haute South, Derek Hollinger from Mount Vernon, and then another fun draw, Drake Buchanan, Center Grove. We'll talk about that. He took a loss to our guy Gunner at regional, so that put him, not in the best spot, but obviously Durnell, that's gonna be a barn burner.
Yeah, I looked up. I wonder what Durnell did last year. So I looked up. He lost 2-1 to Puglisi, who ended up being a state qualifier. He's had close matches. I mean, he's been in all of his matches that he's lost. So as a senior, you think I win regionals, like that's going to put me in a pretty solid spot. And hey, by the way, you got Drake Buchanan in the ticket round. So, I mean, in the land of terrible draws, that is a terrible draw.
Yeah, you're talking about 8, 9, 12 losses between 4 guys. And Durnell spent most of the season up at 95. Buchanan's a stud. Hollinger's obviously had a really good career, 36-3. Mount Vernon Russell, solid schedule. Alex Rose had some really nice wins too. I know Terre Haute has sent me some of their stuff early on about some of the matches that he had won and what he had did this summer. So you can't look past. I mean, if you're Durnell, you can't look past Alex Rose looking towards Buchanan. Sometimes you get a bit that way.
Bottom half of the bracket, you got Clay Martin from Evansville Mater Dei, Luke Bullock from Mooresville, and then Jerry McBee from Owen Valley, Jared Slocum II from Columbus North. Much like a couple other quarter brackets, not a crazy firepower, but all guys are semi-state ranked, 2 state ranked, 17 and 24. Just pretty solid weight right there.
Yeah, I got the quarterback circled at 2 Barry Horowitz curtain jerkers here with Martin Bullock and then McBee and Slocum. And Slocum's had good wins. He's not ranked, but he's had some good wins this year. And then, obviously, as we talk all day long, 9 losses for Mater Dei is nothing to kind of turn your nose to. So, I mean, that's going to be an exciting, fun bracket, I think. I think any of those dudes can come through. McBee's the slight favorite, but if I see Bullock or Slocum or Martin come through, I wouldn't be totally surprised either. So, a fun quarter bracket.
Yeah, Martin, another guy. When you're in a really tough program, really tough team, you got to kind of fit in. I think he was up at 95 last year, right? Coming down a weight class. Bullock is really solid. Jared McBee has been really good all year. I know he's had some good wins, and like Triple B said, Jared Slocum had some really nice wins. I know he was on the watch list. There was a guy that was right in the mix. I think he would have some good wins, and then I would go back and be like, all right, man, it's time to put him in. Then he would have a weird loss, and I'd be like, all right, do you put him in up for the wins or you take him out for the losses? It's you always wish it was a little bit more clean cut for that.
Yeah, we said Owen Valley's name quite a bit. They haven't had a state qualifier since 2007. So they got a couple guys right in that mix right there. They had a real good season this year, right on the cusp of getting voted into what was it, 1A or 2A? 2A.
2A.
Yeah, so pretty solid team. So he's in a spot where he could qualify. So then going down, you got our guy Gunnar Henry. He rides some bulls from Brownsburg. Jared McKinley, not the one from Perry Meridian. Maybe he is. Maybe he's gained some weight. Greg Shingleton from Jeffersonville and Bray Emrine. That's gonna be a good, it's got 7-9 right there in the ticket round. That could. Brownsburg is looking at a state title, and that's a match that could win or lose your state title right there. Henry's having a great freshman year, and could he obviously be, just like Buchanan. Hey, you win your regional. Holy cow, drawn to the worst possible draw.
And Gunner and Bray were training partners back before Gunner went to Brownsburg. So these two know each other inside and out. They train together in Invicta. They're really good friends. That's going to be a fun match there if they meet up, because that's kind of where you throw rankings out the window and favorites out the window, because when you have a training partner who you train with over and over and over and over and over, you're just going to know things that other people aren't going to know. And I don't think them being friends will stop either one of them from going full tilt at each other either. So that's going to be a great match. I got it circled.
Yeah. So I want to go because I want to double check. Cause I always try to get my information right, because I know Gunner the first meet he was down was like Team State, and then they wrestled their conference. He took a loss to Vincent McDonald. And as you're saying, he likes to ride bulls. You pull up his track profile, him riding a bull in the picture.
I know Gunner's my boy. We talk. I casually bet him that he could have my truck if he wins 4 IPOs and 4 state titles. And so, of course, like the second round, he draws into what's the guy that was a runner-up as a freshman from Culver? What's his name?
Donahoe.
Donahoe. He drew Donahoe like in the.
How could you forget the Michael Jordan of wrestling, Joe?
Yes, the quarterfinals.
Hall of Fame.
He drew like him early on, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I got to keep my truck. And then he lost that.
Ever since that email, Triple B, that's the Hall of Fame. That's number 1 first ballot Hall of Fame email I ever got.
Oh, you have to share it with me.
No. Hector, I wasn't dumb enough to bet you, bet Jesse for. It's only if he got 5, so he didn't get 5. So
I'm not gonna lie. I bet Crown Point that if they got 14 regional champs, I would buy all the rounds the first round of state. And they won 71 straight matches from the sectional on. They didn't lose until like 13. But I'm gonna tell you, when we were going to the finals, I was sweating a little bit. I was like, come on, at least Christian's here. If anything else, it's going to be tough for them to beat Christian Carey.
Yes. It might be. And that's the second to last one.
Yeah. Now, Gunner, I think, and we said this a lot, and I thought that was a really smart move. Obviously, they're a smart staff. Brownsburg does a great job. They're not going to get out-coached. But that was a really good move for them to take him to 82.
Yeah.
I think 95, not that he couldn't compete there. And, he'd still be in those matches. But, man, you're playing with fire there. Like, you got some guys that are heavy hitters. You risk drawing Purdy in the ticket round, or Solers, or Wellman. I think it would have been Wellman, right?
I believe that's right. We'll see that here in a second. But, yeah, I think it was Wellman.
So I think he'll be right in the mix. You could have 2 freshmen in the state semifinals, possibly. I mean, obviously, I don't know the brackets, but man, can you imagine 2 freshmen in the semifinals at 182 pounds?
Jeez, that's crazy.
That's crazy, right? Yeah.
They could be wrestling each other, and they've wrestled each other quite a bit. 195. Speaking of Owen Valley, you got Eli Hinshaw. Sam Lapadot from Brownsburg, first round. Then you got the terrible draw.
That is terrible.
Van Skinner and John Purdy, first round. Both having, Purdy's only lost twice to Solers. I think Solers, it's one. Solers is 2-1 now.
Yep.
Won the last 2. Skinner having a great season again, and I think his dad needs to sacrifice a goat or something to get a good draw, not get an ugly draw.
Oh, hey, so here's Skinner's last 3 draws. Are you ready? Freshman, regional champ, draws some guy named Gabe Solers in the ticket round. Sophomore, loses to state runner-up Morrill at regionals and draws some kid named Gabe Solers in the ticket round.
Oh,
at least
this year, he battles some, I think he loses to Clayton on a questionable takedown. I hear about Clayton goes on to win regionals. Van draws John Purdy in the ticket round. I mean, lights out. But I'm not counting Van out. Van's a baller. He's wrestled all over. He's a freshman, sophomore state champ. I mean, it's not the best draw ever, but yeah, be the bad draw. That's what we say.
And he likes to lift weights. I've heard he likes to lift weights. I've seen some videos.
I think he eats weights, but yeah, whatever it is.
And I mean, like, Purdy's a freak athlete too, man. That's gonna be two pretty big, strong, athletic kids going at it first round. Probably both pretty good football players. Yeah, I would say next year, try to miss one of those guys. If those guys are at 95, go 220.
Thanks, Mike.
Those guys. Why would you? I mean, I guess if Salers is there, go for it. He's gonna graduate early and go wrestle Salers at IU.
Yeah,
or wherever Salers is going.
Well, at least he didn't get Salers this year. I mean,
I guess.
So going down, you got Sam Allen Whiteland coming in late to the season, 9-1. I think he was at Franklin for a little bit, right? I mean, we're telling everyone's history from where they've lived for the last 7 years. So
wrestled as a freshman for Brown County, and I believe wrestled heavyweight and was a quarterfinalist.
Yes.
Didn't wrestle at all last year, but still had to sit out first. I think Franklin contested the fact that he was in their school and then went to Whiteland, had to sit out for a semester. So, I mean, he's a dark horse. Like, I'm not going to bet against a white woman returning medalist, but if Sam Allen beats Woman Saturday, like, I won't be shocked. It wouldn't be something that I'm scratching my head over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting one too, because I thought they said he was a pretty big heavyweight when he was at Brown County. I think that we were talking about White Neck, and they were saying like he was a pretty good sized kid. And I know last year he was around 220, and now he's at 95. But that first round match, that's not one to sleep on either. John Schrader and Wyatt Willman to get to
Schrader's had I know he's 6-2, but he knocked off Skinner, and then I think he lost a close match to Clayton last weekend. So I'm not sure who the other losses to, but he's pretty good. I mean, Van's no slouch, and he beat Van at sectional. So
yeah, should be a good quarter bracket. I know Willman's. I have very familiar with him, unfortunately, and I know he's big, strong, and hard to move and stuff like that. So that should be a good quarter bracket. Even Willman's the favorite, but he can't. Like we said this multiple times. He's can't sleep on any of those guys. And then
the one Willman was a quarterback. Is this Willman also a quarterback?
I don't know. We'll have to see in the chat what kind of response we get.
Yeah.
So they said
Schrader lost at 220.
Schrader, yeah.
To Cathedral.
Jackson Weigert.
Yeah.
Cameron Sack has been selling us Jackson Weigert stock all year. We weren't buying it enough.
Yeah.
Now he's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cy Old.
So going down, you got the Skinner family's favorite wrestler, Gabe Solers. Returning state champ Bryson Mata from Scottsburg, Bryce Crump from Center Grove, another great draw, and then Colton Hubble from Edgewood.
Hey, I'm going to plug Bryson Mata. He came up in the program too, another triple B trained athlete. So terrible draw. Maybe it must be me that gets that bad draw for all the kids that wrestled in my youth program. So
man, 33-4 freshman at 195. That's pretty good.
Don't mess with Tank, man. That's a name we'll be talking about also down the road. So.
Another not good Center Grove draw. Like, it's not like they're even getting bad draws. Like, there's bad draws, but they're getting like returning state champion draws.
Yes.
Hey,
like, who did you draw? We have the returning state champion to go.
Matt Kelly said back in there, he said, bracket gods hate all the other kids because we're the good draw, or we're the bad draw for them. They're not the bad draw.
I like it. A little mental game. I think that's good.
Yeah, Soller's having a good year. He's pretty tough.
Good career.
Yeah.
Great career.
Yeah, so that should be an interesting one. Going down, you got Evan Clayton from Jeffersonville having a good senior year. I'm guessing he wrestles Greco. Jed Barnett from Vincent's Lincoln. Samuel Saunders from Terre Haute North, and then Jacoby Lavelle from Pike. That's a rogue solid quarter bracket there. You got all four guys ranked. You got 10 and 12 possibly in the ticket round. That's a tough one. Yeah,
Clayton's good. I mean, I think Saunders got the votes, but Clayton's solid wrestler. I've watched him wrestle a bunch. Doesn't get in bad positions. Knows how to score from about anywhere. A great, like we've been saying all night, another great quarter bracket, a 4 versus a 5. So that's just how you would want it.
Jacoby Lavelle, also a freshman, sophomore state champ when he was a sophomore, so 2 years ago. I know he's always been a guy.
I didn't see it. So I looked him up earlier. I didn't see. I don't know if he didn't wrestle last year or wasn't varsity or what, but I couldn't find anything on him last year. I saw that he won freshman sophomore 2 years ago, but
yeah, I don't know. Indian national champ. So not going to be a pushover. I don't know who his losses are to. I mean, I don't get a ton of emails from Pike.
I said, yeah, in the write-up I said undoubtedly the most northern schools get slept on because nobody sends me a lot of information on them, and they're not necessarily easy to track down. So, if Lavelle comes and balls through that quarterfinal and people go, ha, 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 good for him, man. He deserved it. And, no hate on him at all. So,
yeah.
2 more weights.
I think sometimes, just a little ranking, back and forth. Sometimes, people are like, well, you didn't do this. Man, I live in, the northwest corner of the state. I'm not going to drive 5 hours to watch wrestling. I'm hoping that people, if they're doing well, they send us a message. But, hey, not to be a jerk, but my kid's smashing everybody. He's 40-0 and has 40 falls. And then that'd be a lot easier. We don't get those messages all the time, though.
Right, yeah. You
got a special guest there behind Mike.
My cat, I got to take him to the vet tomorrow.
Nice. So 220, Garen Jenkins from Floyd Central having a good year. Assistant trained. I bet he can jump rope. Malachi Rios from Charlestown. Jakari Oliver from Whiteland. And then Kelton Farmer, another returning state qualifier for Evansville Memorial. Should be a good good quarter bracket, good ticket round match there possibly. Farmer having a real good year for Evansville Memorial, so it should be a pretty solid. It's going to be a good quarter bracket.
Farmer's having a great year. They were supposed to wrestle the third place match at Modern Day, but Jenkins' injury defaulted out. Jenkins he wrestled. Him and Van used to have the most amazing matches in middle school and elementary school. And then, I don't know what happened, but he's back now. He's having a great year. And that certainly on paper would be an upset, but Farmer has the advantage. But, Jenkins has beat some ranked kids this year. He's had a great year.
Yeah, he's had some really nice wins. I think he's had a couple wins over Skaggs, Nolan Skaggs. Franklin, who I think is pretty tough. But you're right. That's going to be a good quarter bracket. That'll be a good first match. Jakari Oliver and Kelton Farmer right off the bat.
So that was a ticket round match last year. So that's always good to have that, rematch.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We're talking about getting a second cat. We didn't want one cat, and now Kim wants a second cat. She needs a friend. He needs a friend. I don't know if I need a girl cat. I don't need about 10 cats, but.
So moving down, we got Tommy Morrill from Columbus East having a great junior year. He kind of coming on his own. I know he's had some solid wins, but kind of putting things together. Bryce Mills, Owen Valley, Zach Inzarello from Castle, then Nolan Skaggs, Franklin. That's a brutal quarter bracket. 3 ranked guys.
Skaggs is a returning state qualifier, ranked 25th in the state. I mean, that's how ridiculous 220 is. I mean, that's crazy.
Tommy Morrill still got the long hair going.
Yeah, that's funny. You need to look up that regional picture because 3 of the 4 dudes look like they could have been in Beauty and the Beast on the podium.
Nice.
How their hair didn't get intertangled when they wrestled beyond me, but it certainly looked like a hair shampoo commercial.
He got some good locks, man.
So, yeah, going down, next quarter bracket, our guy RD3, Royce Deckard.
RD3.
Having a good junior year, dropped down from heavyweight and, Wrecking Shop. Brody Ford from Heritage Hills. Kristen Verst from Terre Haute South. And then Seth Kendall from North Harrison. Deckard put himself in a pretty solid position to punch his ticket to state and, see some RD3 chance.
Yeah, I think they call him Trey.
RD3.
We were pushing RD3, but I think they just call him Trey.
I think RD3 sounds better. Come on.
I think that was a good move for him. I know last year he was wrestling heavyweight, and I think just kind of got in better shape and leaned out a little bit. But they got some really good big guys in that room. I think they got some backup big guys that are really good also at Center Grove. So get in where you can fit in, right?
Yep.
Hey, we haven't said anything yet. I just want to say, Brody Ford, Heritage Hills. Heritage Hills has had a great year. Coach Zolman down there had things going in an uptick. We've kind of skipped over. They have some good dudes that we didn't talk about. Brendan Chu, Alex Smith, some other guys. But just a quick plug in there that's a tough part of the state to kind of build and keep going. He's had some state placers, state qualifiers in the past, and their team this year put together a great year. So kudos to him.
Are they also the Patriots? Where are they?
Home of Jay Cutler, right?
Singlet, right?
Yes.
I think they're the Smoking Joes. Smoking Jay.
Yeah, Smoking Jay.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
You guys are both Bears fans, so you guys love Jay Cutler.
I do. I'm a Jay Cutler fan. So I listen every Friday. Waddle and Sylvie got Jay Cutler on.
Talking about that divorced farm life.
Yeah. Well, I think he's doing like a podcast talking about aliens and Bigfoot, and I think they're trying to get him a date. So
nice.
The coolest 100 millionaire ever, Jay Cutler.
Yeah. So
you can buy. He sells like shipped boxes of meat, so you can get.
nice.
Yeah, we do like him a lot more. He's not playing.
Actually, you guys would probably take him right now.
No, I like Justin Fields, but man, that one game he had against Tampa Bay, like I think his first, like 3 of his first like 6 passes were picked. I was like, all right, it's gonna be hard to defend this guy tomorrow.
Nice. So going down. Did we lose Dustin? Looks like he's frozen. Move, Dustin, come back. We lost him.
Who does the Fort Wayne guys follow? You guys follow the Bengals?
Indy, Detroit, Ohio teams, any teams. Oh, there's Dustin. He's back. Woo.
He's back.
Whew.
We got copyrighted from talk about Jay Cutler. We got to keep that down.
Got reported. Facebook reported.
Christian Cavalier shut us off down.
Yeah. Last quarter bracket, I got Nathan Critchfield. Great story on him this year. Check that out. Mater Dei, undefeated, wrestling real well. Son Gaston from Monrovia, Gage Gasper, and then Ashton Shooter from Jasper. Having a real good senior year. Not a good draw there.
No, good look. Gosh, what a terrible draw.
Just a little bit more on our Jay Cutler stuff. That's Kristen Cavallari. That's Hector Mendez's girl. That's his fantasy football name for like the last 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah. No, not a great draw for those guys. Nathan Critchfield. I'm excited to see the kind of like Christian Carroll run. I know we talked about it last week, but Monday. I'm excited to see him wrestle Grange this week. I'm excited to see how he matched up with Critchfield, 29-0. I bet a lot of his are bonus points also. You don't see a lot of fifth-year guys, huh?
No, you don't.
That's the name.
He took a COVID year. No, he actually has a real great story, and that's cool that he's able to wrestle and finish his career. So heavyweight, the big guys. This is Triple B's weight. Right off the bat, real good quarter bracket. James Ralph, Mater Dei, having a real good senior year. Aiden Aker from Bloomington South. They always have some pretty good, solid tough big guys. Nate Johnson, he has a nice, glorious mullet. And then Colin Corbin from Greco City, Jeffersonville. He's had some solid wins. And I can never figure out if he has 2 L's or 1 L. But should be a solid quarter bracket there. Obviously, Johnson's had a real good sophomore year, but Ralph, there's a semi-state title right on there. I mean, Center Grove wins that or Mater Dei wins that. That's going to put them in solid position there.
I think Center Grove and Mater Dei are wrestling a duel, actually.
Didn't they already wrestle a duel?
I think we just keep saying they have bad draws, but I think they're actually just going to wrestle out a duel. Nate Johnson had a really interesting article, but it wasn't from us, so I don't know if we're allowed to plug that kind of stuff. But I don't know the company line. But I know that he had. They said like if he grew out his mullet, that he could run the football, like, and which is huge because I don't know how your guys' running backs were, but they weren't heavyweights.
No.
And I think that his mom really liked it. I think she had passed away, and he kept it. So. Really interesting article. I think I forgot who posted it, but I seen it on the Center Grove page at some point this year.
Yeah. Any comments there, Triple B?
Man, I think everybody is kind of sleeping on Ralph. Ralph's had a great year. He's beat one of Jacob Johnson's 2 losses is to Ralph, right, at the Mater Dei Classic. So when I'm reading the comments on Indiana Mad about, Johnson Jones 3, Johnson Jones 3, Johnson and Johnson Jones 3, like, James Ralph is legit, and I know Mater Dei's not known for legit heavyweights, but, I mean, I don't think anybody beats Leighton Jones. Like, Leighton Jones is hand down. should have won a state title last year and all that.
Dang.
But
my guy's on the show, man.
Foot stomp single in the semis. Can't stop it.
Ralph goes on.
Yeah, and I'm sure one of Ralph's 2 losses is to RD3 when he bumped up at Team State and got a big fall. I think he walked right into a lateral drop or kind of hustled into a lateral drop or a headlock. So I'm sure Johnson's going to be kind of looking at that match, but that'll be a good one. I'm not looking past any of those guys, but don't look past Colin Corbin either, because you can walk right into a headlock just with him too.
Yeah.
That might be a fun match to watch. That might be, a 15 to 12 match, or it might be over in 15 seconds. So, because I know Johnson likes to throw. Going down, you got Bo Nolan from North Knox, undefeated senior.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the one we slept on the most. He's unranked, right? Undefeated, unranked.
Yep.
Yeah, but how many emails did you get about North Knox this year?
0.
Yeah, so I know some people.
Same number of losses he has.
I think on the board, people were saying Nolan's been overlooked and nobody's counting Nolan. Well, we didn't know about Nolan until I did the semi-state brackets. I'm just being honest. I hope he punches his ticket and they say we told you so. But you got to send us information, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. He'll win a state championship, and then I'll get emails for the next 10 years.
Back at the old Force Center, 220, Brownsburg had, before the old Brownsburg, they had a 220-pounder win that was unranked in semi-state and state. And that dad lit me up for about 3 days on emails. I don't remember his name, but I just remember before I even got out, my phone was blowing up with emails.
Oh, man. I remember McGill got one when he was doing the rankings. And, dude, that was, way back when no one was sending information.
Yeah.
And he got one. Someone won a semi-state. Was thanks for the motivation. My son really used it tonight. And I'm thinking man, they hate you.
Anyone want to guess?
And he was behind a name. They didn't even know it was Eric. They're just killing
Indiana rankings guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the last time North Knox had a male state qualifier?
Yep.
1986.
Whoa.
That's when we were doing the Super Bowl shuffle, man.
Todd Burke.
Glory days.
At 167 pounds. So, yeah, that's been a while since they've been represented at state. So, obviously you root for a guy like that, get North Knox to state. He has Hunter Colley from Heritage Hills. Then you got Johnson and Johnson, Seth Johnson from Corydon, and Jacob Johnson from Franklin, returning 2-time state qualifier. That's going to be a
Chris Riddle train.
Pretty good quarter bracket there.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not really sure where North Knox is in Indiana. I know where our Knox is at, south of Valpo.
Let's see. It's from the Bloomington South Regional, so I would say
in Bickle, Indiana. Do you don't know where Bickle, Indiana is?
I've been there once, guys.
Western Central Indiana, right?
It is. Jeez, I'm trying to zoom out. I'm trying to get a point. It is, man. It is southwest of Bloomington. Goodness. Just south, probably looks like about an hour south of Terre Haute. Would be my guess.
Who I'm blaming? I'm blaming Greg Ratliff for not telling me this guy was good.
Big Toe. Hey, Big Toe. That's kind of his area. Big Toe 19. How did you not let me know about Bo Nolan this year?
Yeah. He's fired.
He's probably on Big Toe's rankings, and I just went right over top of it.
Where's North Knox? I didn't know what Bickle, Indiana is. So yeah, good quarter bracket there.
You got Jacob Johnson here. I know he's been wrestling Chris Riddle. Chris Riddle, one of my favorite posters on the board right now. Bringing some good content.
Yeah, so it should be good.
Just south of Sullivan. So go to nowhere, take a left, and you'll land in Bickle, Indiana.
That's how you get to the regular Knox and
Kevin Arnett, Navy 80. He's a Sullivan guy. How did he not let me know about? You guys all dropped the ball on my assistant rankers.
Yeah,
Holy smokes.
Assistant rankers. You're going to have to clean some house here.
Nah, they do all the work. I just copy and paste, so I can't clean no house.
Oh, so that's why you started a new spreadsheet, because they have access to it. So they're the ones doing it. So last half bracket, you got Leighton Jones, Brownsburg having a good year. 2 losses out of state.
Yeah, great career, huh?
Yeah. and only a junior, 3-star defensive lineman. I think it's where he's. I just saw on his Twitter, ranked sixth in the state. I assume that's in his position. I don't know. In football, so decent football, getting a lot of football offers. Peyton Hayden from Jennings County, Barry Duff. That's a pro wrestler name right there. And then Logan McGraw from Owen Valley. Tough draw for Owen Valley there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's a bad draw for Owen Valley there. I want to plug Peyton Hayden, starting quarterback, first-year wrestler for Jennings County, semi-state qualifier. So
he's wrestling like a D end. How about when Leighton was a tight end last year?
Yeah,
getting tutties.
Perfect. You got a D end wrestling a quarterback. That should end well.
Yeah. I want to know what Whiteneck's positional rank in Indiana is. Dude, I got to see him again this weekend. He's huge.
Yeah. I remember our guy Tony O'Neill was talking about him. He's like, yeah. He was talking to someone's like, did you see the new Prairie kid? Like, what new Prairie kid? Like, you didn't see him then. He's like, the new Prairie kid. You see him, you will know who he is. He's like, and Tony O'Neill's a big dude. And he's like, I was looking up to him. I was like, that dude is big.
Dude, he's huge.
Yeah. So
like, I couldn't even imagine, cause New Prairie's not a huge school. He's probably got to block dudes that are 150 pounds sometimes. He's 300 plus during the season.
Yeah, he's just throwing those guys around. No weight classes in football. So going down the last quarter bracket, Ashton Hartwell. I've heard something. I know we're going to hear something. Columbus East having a good year. Cooper Williams, Whiteland, Amar Gaffney, Terre Haute North, and then Jacob Kyle, Evansville North. So the Battle of the Norths there. So Triple B, say it.
Ashton Hartwell's Triple B trained. Came through the youth program. Decided to leave for greener pastures. Him and Ty Olds bolted on us. But best luck to Ashton this weekend. I'm rooting for him. He came up through the Roughneck Wrestling program that we have, and he's a great kid, great family, and he's had some difficult ticket round draw. I think he had Leighton last year. I think he was ranked top 8 last year and drew Leighton in the ticket round. So best luck this weekend, Ashton, man. Punch that ticket.
Yes.
So I think Cooper Williams has had some good wins this year too for Whiteland. Guy that right on the brink went to tiebreakers with Big Mike. I don't know. That Big Mike likes to go to tiebreakers. He's getting his money's worth. Beat Jacob Eichson from Noblesville, who's close to the rankings, right in the rankings. So Cooper Williams has some really nice wins. That's a tough one at the bat.
Fossil. That's interesting. Nice.
Hey, don't leave for the heavyweights. I just saw that. Dylan Johnson, do not leave. Watch the heavyweights. They're the best athletes in the building. Why would you want to leave?
Yeah. Is that true? He's a fossil hunter for real? That's pretty cool.
So, yeah.
Heavyweights are bone collectors. So there's that.
We'll move back to the bigger versions of us. So pretty good semi-state overall, I would say.
So what's next? So we're gonna do Newcastle tonight.
Nah,
We're starting that one then.
Run through Newcastle. Let's do it.
You want to do it? We'll run through Newcastle.
It's only 10:30 for me.
We'll do it. We'll do about a few of the weights there. Ah, shoot, I got to open it up in the right window. So let me go back to that. Open with.
Has a scholarship to Wyoming for archaeology. How about that?
Dude, that's awesome.
Man, I need stories like that, dude. I'd love to have done a story for that one. That would have been that's awesome. We'll start. We'll do we'll do a few weights here. We got time. We'll go back to the bracket.
That's wild, man. How do you find that they're calling?
Yeah.
Find a piece of sap with a mosquito in it.
You need to throw in a Jurassic Park reference right there. You need to write that into your profile, your preview there. So, yeah.
Attaboy Dylan Johnson. He's just respecting the heavyweight.
Lifelong heavyweight. Triple B, when was the last time you were under 100 pounds?
Second grade.
I
remember 101 pounds when I was in second grade. I broke that mark, so there was no turning back.
I asked Reeve Muncie that when last time he was under 100 pounds, and then he said I didn't know. So his dad ended up finding me a baseball card from was like first or second grade, and he weighed like 110. So they're like first or second grade.
It's a hard life, man. Because I think when you guys do Pop Warner, you can't even play football, right? Like there's like weight classes. You gotta go up a age group.
You just can't carry the ball, right?
Discrimination.
Right.
Fat shaming. So okay, we're gonna go on a little bit on Newcastle because we have time. And who needs sleep? It's semi-state week. 106 top quarter bracket.
I'm COVID quarantine. Let's go. I got one more day.
So Heather Kroll, Northeastern regional champ, freshman. She's tough. She's real tough. Don't know who her 2 losses are to, but I don't know if
one to Eshawn Tolbert for sure.
Okay, and I assume they count the. I don't know how they're doing that with her Ocampo loss. I think so, since it is it's a certified event. So I'm gonna say that's her.
I'm gonna go to her track wrestling right now.
Yeah,
Eshawn Tolbert at the North Montgomery Super Duel. That's the only one they have on our track thing. So I'm sure someone will let us know.
Yeah, I assume Ocampo at the girls' state. We'll just count that right there. Matt Rossman, that's a tough first round match. Rossman's had some good wins.
Really tough.
And
man. Call him in.
He's probably patrolling the mean streets of Indy right now. Keeping people safe. Don't want to take him off the beat.
Yeah, well, that was my favorite thing last year. My brother got an Airbnb for the state finals 2 years ago, and I said, "Hey, Howie, my brother got this Airbnb. Is it in a bad area?" He said, "What's the address?" And I gave him the address, and he said, "Have you ever heard the song Cracks from Hughville?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Look it up because that's Hughville." So I was like, "Well, that's great, man."
Anywhere that they make songs out of is probably a good neighborhood, right?
Yep.
So Connor Bayless from Mount Vernon, and then Chase Kameyer from Westfield. But Kroll in a good spot to punch her ticket, be the second state qualifier in Indiana history for a girl. So real good, tough wrestler.
That's gonna be a tough one right off the bat, though.
Yeah.
Ron Kelly wrestled a real tough schedule, and Rossman's good. So right off the bat, they might have wrestled before in the past. So I mean, that could be maybe she's has a good career against Rossman, but I think she landed in a really good spot. But being a champ, you put yourself in good position.
Yep. Yeah, especially out of Richmond. That's usually the one that you want to kind of draw sometimes. Going down, you got Nathan Smith, Southport, having a great senior year, 43-0. Had a really good offseason. Tristan Smith, Greensburg, Chase Yant from Fishers, kind of wrestling real well at the end of the season, freshman. And then Gabe Bragg from Cathedral, 11-loss Cathedral kid. That's someone you don't want to. That's not a good draw for either of those guys because Cathedral's going to be ready. They have a chance to win semi-state. I think they're in good position there to punch a lot of tickets, and semi-state their team-wise is going to be very interesting. So that should be a real good ticket round match.
Yeah, Gavin Bragg, real tough. Just kind of looking at his wins and losses, he has some really good wins, and he has 11 losses, but they're looks like 11 pretty solid kids. It's like everyone that's in a ranking. So he's kind of been like the measuring stick guy, like. How did you do against Gavin Bragg this year? Okay, that can kind of measure me out where you need to be. Nathan Smith, All-American this summer, right? Undefeated. I think
up to Hockaday.
So I think he's going to be right in the mix. I think he's in a good spot. Obviously, 43. I remember someone was telling us he lost the JV tournament or something.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
No, unless they're lying about 43-0.
Yeah.
I think they're just mistaken. I don't know if it's not true. It's just mistaken.
Yeah.
But preseason national run or champ. So real good summer this year. Just kind of making it happen. So I think he's going to be in the mix. I see someone put that's the pick for the top of the podium. The top of 106 is really good. We've got some young guys, got some seniors. Anytime you got a couple seniors at 106, it's always tough.
Definitely. Going down, you got Oliver Wilson, North Central, number 13. Quinn Staffacher from Zionsville. Kyle Sheard from Centerville, and then Julian Roll, Perry Meridian. Never count out a Perry Meridian guy. They're 9 losses. Those are going to be not good losses. They're going to be ready to roll. come state time.
Kim was just asking me if I fed my cat. We didn't. I haven't fed him. Oliver Wilson, I know a lot of guys are super high on him. Ultra athletic kid. 4 losses. I know he was at 13 a little bit. I believe he lost his regional and sectional and came back and won the regional. Yeah, sectional runner up. He might have lost to Bragg. Yep, lost to Bragg. Came back, won the regional, put himself in a real good spot. I mean, if you lost that, you would have Smith. That'd be a lot tougher draw.
Yeah. Can't count out, Coach Lou Silverman from North Central always brings these guys that kind of a little bit under the radar, guys that we're not seeing, and then all of a sudden you see them, placing that state and stuff. He's been doing that for about 30 years, I think. So
I think he was a ticket rounder last year. I know that was a guy that Howie had said like early on, watch out for that. He was, he was real tough. No, he lost last year in the first round to Zach Dre of Warren Central.
Not a bad loss. Dre was a qualifier. So, and going down, Carmel has got themselves in some pretty solid spots. Tamir Halavai, we don't have Ed on here to correct us, and Sean Tankersley from Lawrence North, 2 sophomores, and then Cole Vandegrift from New Pal and Colin Troyer from Franklin County. Should be a good first round match up top, and then Halavai in a pretty good spot there.
Oh, real good spot. I think Tankersley's tough though. That'd be a good right off the bat. I'm sure they wrestled. But I mean, nothing like that stays out that's gonna be like super bad. But you never know how the bracket shakes out.
Yep. Any comments on 106 there, Triple B?
Yeah, no, looks great.
113. Got Ron Colley, Braden Getz up top, Braden Eisler from Lawrence North, Porter Temples from Westfield, and then Brian Merritt from Greensburg. So it should be, Getz put himself in a good spot. Ron Colley's having a real good year this year. I know with the semi-state rankings, they've been right in the mix to win it. So, based on the rankings. So it's going to be, this team race is going to be interesting. You got Ron Colley, Cathedral. You can't ever count out Perry or Warren, those types of teams. Carmel's in some good spots. So the team race here is going to be very, very good.
It'd be interesting. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to jump in. Let me tell you something. Braden Getz has not been scored upon in the state tournament. And his dad's a Madison Cub. So there you go. Wrestled with me in high school. Braden Getz comes through that. One weight I know about. There you go.
And I think that he had some injury this year, right? He was out for a while.
Yeah, he missed the first half of the season injured.
And then the guy that they had in there was real tough too. Real tough freshman. So they had some real good lower weights that are young.
Yeah. And
he hasn't given up a point.
Triple B knows like where everyone has lived their whole life. What do you like live on Zillow, finding everyone's former addresses?
I grew up with his dad. Like, I can't help it. Great people start here, and I get them going, and then they ship out to other places. It just happens.
He's just like Bubba J.
Forget the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You got the 7 degrees of Triple B.
Yeah, Bubba J. Bubba J started in Madison, and
there you go.
That's just like that.
Bubba Jenkins, Madison guy.
So
this
going down,
bracket is tough.
I won't know anything else about the rest of this semi-state, but I'll sit here and listen to you guys.
Okay, we'll do half of the weights here, and then we'll get off here. But got Evan Dickey Cathedral having a great year, only 1 loss. Terry Easley from Warren Central, Bryson Hale from Centerville, then Tommy Frazier Zionsville. So yeah, 21-2, potentially meeting up in the ticket round, and then 2 semi-state ranked guys here. You don't see as many semi-state ranked here because they're only 10 ranked here. Triple B went all the way to 16, so a little bit less semi-state ranks.
Wait a minute. I was ready to dog on Howie, but never mind. Fine.
That's a savage move, man. I got worried because after I put 25 up in the state rankings, they like bogged down the site. And he said, "You know what? I see you're 25. I'm going to raise you 16 from our semi-state."
Yes.
Bryson Hale and Tommy Frazier, that'd be a good first-round match. Both those guys have had some really good wins. Winner of that, it's unfortunate. We kind of talked about it some of these bad draws, I know like no one wants to get that terrible draw. A lot of these draws are gonna be tough, but we live in a weird world where, you know, COVID can quarantine someone or pull someone out. So if you lose to the champ, that's the system we're in. You're the alternate. So you're probably to stay close. Injuries happen. You see it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about it on the first show. But if you're those two guys, the winner of that gets dicky, and you could probably get pulled through if something were to happen.
Yeah, definitely. Going down, you got Carson Whiteley from Union County Regional Champ, sophomore. Nick Anderson, Hamilton Southeastern. Peter Nguyen from Guerin Catholic, and Lincoln Parsons, Greenfield Central. So quite a few losses in that quarter bracket. Kind of a pick 'em there. That's going to be an interesting one. No one's in this, only one semi-state ranked guy there.
You think that said like Wynn, like Scotty Wynn, the poker player?
I'm no.
Are you saying no?
I think it's Wynn. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know a ton about the bracket. Someone said that Wynn looked really good at the regional. I mean, that's a tough regional. I think Lincoln Parsons, Greenfield Central wrestled a pretty solid schedule. I'm happy that they're able, because they got pulled last year with COVID, right?
Yeah. There were a couple of teams that kind of got a full team quarantine, and they had like 6 or 7 guys at regional in a really good regional, and they had some guys that were going to be at semi-state. So I'm good to see them, and knock on wood that nothing happens to them this year.
I know Carson Whitley from Union County got some tough partners. I had the Connorsville brackets in front of me. I could have seen what he had done there, but
I never even got those.
I had them, man. I was supposed to give them to you, but I didn't forward them.
Nice. Going down, another good Carmel guy, Gavin Thompson, regional champ. Cole Freeze from Franklin County, then Bryce Doss from New Pal, and Isaiah Fry from Alexandria. So that should be a real good take around match. You got 16 and 22.
Shout out Morales, got him from he's still in the chat too. I seen him in there. Yeah. That is a good draw there. Isaiah Fry, that's a tough draw with Gavin Thompson. That could be a tough match. Isaiah Fry had some really good wins this year. I know he had a good win against Delta when they wrestled early on, 30-2. When's the last time Alexandria Monroe had one? Was it
qualifier? They had one last year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Nazarad.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
So yeah, they always have some pretty good guys. They had the Blantons and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was gonna be Blanton.
Yeah.
Forgetting about Nazarad. Got me.
Man. Got one on Mike. Yes. 120, Aiden Reyes.
It took 127 shows now.
Yeah, yes. Ouch, man. 120 got Aiden Reyes from Cathedral. A pretty good spot there. Tough Tackett. I bet he rides bulls. I'm guessing on that one, but a name like that, you're usually a bull rider. Alex Planthico from Roncalli, another Roncalli guy. Caleb Madeline from Carmel, freshman who's pretty solid, has some brothers that were pretty good.
And sisters that are pretty good.
Yeah, and sisters that are pretty good. That potential Madeline versus Reyes match. I mean, Reyes is pretty solid, but Madeline will be ready, and that's a match that could decide semi-state right there.
You think Tough Tackett's real name is Tough?
Say, we got to pick Tough Tackett, right? Like, we can't be talking about Reyes and Mattingly.
Yeah, that's tough to pick. It's tough.
No,
it's 12 o'clock for these guys.
Yeah, we got dad jokes coming now.
Aiden Reyes having a real good season, 29-7, and got a ton of notable wins, notable losses. I'm sure his results are right up there at the top with a lot of the people. I know Joe keeps a tally of guys where who has the most notable results. I'm sure he's got a ton.
Let's see. Tough Tackett.
Not Tough Tackett. Aiden Reyes.
Yeah, no. I'm finding out if he's a bull rider.
The next quarter bracket, it's a tough one. Jesus Morales, 40-2. I know he's wrestled a bunch. I think I started him at 13 and they moved him down to 20. I mean, sometimes it's better. I just had this talk with someone about the difference between cutting a weight and worry about, managing your weight and getting better. I think sometimes it's better getting better. But right off the bat, Sam Bustamale, real tough from Indianapolis Bishop Chatard, freshman. And then Toby Billerman kind of falls in there. Morales and Billerman could be a real tough ticket round match.
Yeah, Morales has had a real good season, so that's a tough sophomore from the Patriots of Union County. So
I think he had a pretty solid IPO too. He lost to Billerman there 9-8. So just kind of, looking ahead, possibly a real tight match at the Indiana preseason open to beat a real tough Brody Hagwood.
Yeah. So going down, Braxton Vest returning state placer from Westfield, Braden McMillan Southport, Elijah Creel from Pendleton Heights, and Alex Murphy Batesville. Pretty solid. I mean, you got 3 semi-state ranked guys there, 3, 8, and 10. Vest has had a real good senior year. Pretty solid there.
Oh yeah, Elijah Creel's had some real good wins for Pendleton Heights too. I know he had a pretty solid. I think he had some real good wins. I believe at Northmont. Are they at Northmont? There was something right around Christmas. I know he had some good wins, but Braxton Vest is tough, man. He's a guy that said he's going to stay at 120 and throw his hat in the ring with all the guys coming up, and which is always an interesting move.
Yeah, and going down, you got Kyrell Lavelle having a real good sophomore year. He's real tough. Kind of been under the radar. Warren Central hasn't addressed a little bit different of a schedule this year. Alex Schultz from Clinton Central.
Man, is he under the radar? I think he's ranked like 3.
Well, I mean,
how much more on the radar?
Wrestled under the radar schedule. He hasn't wrestled a lot of the top ranked guys and stuff.
You giving him like the Bo Nolan treatment. It was like we were sleeping on his undefeated record.
Yes, yeah. Returning a guy that was 1 point away from beating the state champ last year. You got Angel Deloney from Shenandoah, and then Isaac Kuhn from Hamilton Heights. The Iron Bear will have Kuhn ready to bang with Lavelle, I'm sure.
Erwin Salazar said that he has Creel punching the ticket with Vest. So,
wow,
I can see it. Yeah, I like the Iron Bear, man. I didn't get to see his results show, but I'm sure that's not the draw that they wanted for Isaac Kuhn.
No, not at all.
Kyrell Lavelle, probably right in the mix to win a state championship.
Oh yeah,
wrestles an exciting style.
Yeah, he's tough. He's, I mean, obviously good family name, and he's gonna be right in that mix. 120 is a pretty deep weight class. There's about 5 or 6 guys that you can say that have legit shots at winning state, and Saturday morning's gonna be interesting. Right off.
And he wrestled a lot of matches. You had to go to page 2 just to get his state finals from last year. I know he likes to put up points. It's exciting. I like to see him match up with some of these other 120s. I like to put up points.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun to watch. Going down, get 126. Whoops. Isaac Ward Carmel, 22-2 junior. Delan Jones from Providence Crystal Ray. You don't see their name very often. I think it's a newer program.
He had a real good 220 last year.
Yeah, don't expect Triple B to know how long that program's been around. Jackson Ramsey from Northeastern, and then Blake Nicholson from Pendleton Heights. Another good spot for Carmel right there.
Kenny Harden said that's not the same Lavelle's, but still a tough kid.
No.
You're selling tails. See, what you didn't know was Providence Cristo Rey used to be in Madison, and then they moved up north. So, little did you know.
They seceded from Madison.
Yup. I don't know if that's true or not.
Hey, don't be hating. Someday you guys can have the stuff that I have. I don't know what to tell you.
Little B's just gonna be just like everyone else there. He's moving up north to Carroll.
I know. Got to keep it going. Transfer
keep
city.
the tradition.
Jackson Ramsey. That's Isaac Ward. I mean, I think Ed usually gets a lot of bad draws.
Yeah.
I think Ed's usually in the spot where we were kind of talking about Senator Grove at. So far to the first, Manly, that's a tough one. But other than that, they've had a good spot.
Yeah. Going down, you got Keaton Morton from Perry Meridian, returning state qualifier. Cameron Mikesell from Western Boone, Eli McGuire from Tipton, and Mylan Nocton from Centerville. So Morton obviously in a good spot there. Looking to probably bring a medal home. Probably would have brought a medal home last year, but he ended up getting bumped up to 20 late in the season. Had a gazillion good wins last year, so he's wrestling a more natural weight. He's going to be in the mix here.
Yeah, I think not to like kill the Newcastle semi-state and say that they're down. I think that's kind of what we said a lot of the year. But you're seeing a lot of small schools, a lot of the smaller schools in that area, like with an opportunity to punch some tickets. You're seeing a lot more of those guys in there, you know.
Yeah, a lot of
But
schools
Keaton
that we don't
Morton,
see a lot of guys at, especially.
yeah, I think that's pretty interesting so far. Just kind of going through the bracket, you're seeing a lot of like school names that it's not dominated with the same 4 or 5 teams that it has been in the past.
Yep. Unlike Evansville, where you have a Mater Dei, you have a Center Grove, you have a Brownsburg, you have an Avon, those types of schools there. So
Columbus East, Bloomington South, yeah, like then you hear some of the newer programs, but it's pretty interesting.
Yep. Going down, you got Blake Wolf, East Central, having another pretty good year. He was a qualifier last year. Logan Flowers, Alexandria, Waylon Frazee from Fountain Central. Real good quarter bracket here. Ashton Brandon from Franklin Central. That's you got 4 semi-state ranked guys, 2 state ranked guys. For Ashton Brandon Senior having a good year. I believe I watched him wrestle Logan Miller last year to a pretty solid match, and then obviously that's on a good draw right there for them.
No, I'm sure that's not the draw that they would want. I think he's only got a handful of losses. He's one of those guys that's the rare was up a weight class in middle school state and is wrestling lower than he did at middle school state. Blake Wolf having a really good season. Freshman sophomore champ also, I believe. 42-0. They kind of wrestle those guys can get slept on a little bit because they wrestle in that area closer to Ohio. They sneak into Ohio a bunch. Waylon Frazee, Fountain Central. I know he took a loss early on. If I can't remember who it was to that knocked him out of the rankings, but he started the year ranked. That's gonna be a real good first round match. So Newcastle right off the bat, Ashton Brandon and Waylon Frazee.
Yeah, real good quarter bracket there. Then the bottom quarter bracket is pretty good there. You got Josh Johnson. Was that Ritter, state placer, 8th place finisher.
Jaden Jett. He lost to Jaden Jett. That's who he lost to knock him out of the rankings.
Nice.
Jaden Jett tough though too.
Yeah. So Johnson was a state placer 2 years ago at 106. Pretty tough, pretty exciting to watch. Can't remember who he's wrestling at Al Smith. That was a real good match. Gavin Lehman from Connorsville, Dakota Harold from Greenfield Central, and then Griffin Ingalls. That's going to be a real good match right there. Ingalls and Harold, and then the winner gets Josh Johnson. That'll be a kind of a pick 'em there in that quarter bracket.
Josh Johnson at the Al Smith beat Warsaw's Martinez, then won by fall over CJ Bryant Lake Central, won a decision of Bo Bartlett 7-3, lost to Mateo Vargo 7-3, beat Mikey Kilimani in overtime, and then beat Michael Tharp. I know he's got a couple losses to Logan Frazier also.
Yeah, the Vargo match was pretty good. He almost had Vargo on his back a couple of times, just couldn't seal the deal. Never really got any points out of it, but yeah, that was a real good match.
Right off the bat, you're gonna have a real good one with Dakota Harold, 26-9 senior, and Griffin Ingalls, 31-6 junior, for an opportunity to wrestle Johnson. I think Johnson was a surprise medalist 2 years ago. He surprised me, maybe not surprised down there.
Yeah,
but
losing
not a bad pickup for Cathedral.
He was losing and hit a headlock late and ended up getting the fall. So yeah, going down. Whoops. Hot diggity dog. You got Elijah Anthony from Frankfurt. He had a good article on him last week. Andrew Dietz from Anderson, O'Shea Phillips from Centerville, and then Ethan Thompson from Beech Grove. Anthony having a real good senior year, been to state 3 times, looking for that elusive medal. It was like their last state placer, Hugo Perez. Is that one of their?
Patrick Lucio.
Yeah.
No, Patrick Lucio was like 2000. That was a joke.
Yeah.
Patrick Lucio did have a really nice mustache, though.
Go ahead.
Elijah Anthony had a really good IPO. I think just a guy that's kind of got there. Had a really good win over Logan Frazier. Lost to Sergio Lemley. So not a bad showing there. I mean, Sergio Lemley obviously super tough. Logan Frazier is really tough. That's a huge win for him. Ethan Thompson's had some really good wins this year. E.B. Drew Willis was the Marion County champ, which obviously Marion County is a pretty legit county.
Yep.
Minus Cathedral, though. So
Cathedral's
if anyone
not
had
in
any
the, they're in the
questions,
city.
if you was wondering why he won that and Zeke wasn't there, just to clear that up.
Yeah.
But that could be a pretty interesting tick-around match with Elijah Anthony and Ethan Thompson. It could be another tough Friday night matchup for Elijah Anthony if he qualifies because he's on the same semifinal side as probably one of the best guys to go through, Newcastle and Zeke Seltzer.
Yep. Yeah, going down, you got Seltzer has one loss to some Jesse guy. Riley Fredrickson from Hamilton Southeastern, Josh Foxworthy, and then Isaiah Otto from South Dearborn. So Seltzer didn't wreck too many careers, only in this quarter bracket. No one got a horrible, no one with a big high ranking got a bad draw there, but still Zeke's pretty good at wrestling.
Yeah, super good. We hadn't talked to you, Triple B. How did you feel about that Zeke Seltzer Jesse Mendez match?
Man, you're gonna smack me. I didn't even see it, so I heard about it, but it's been the least year of wrestling I've been able to watch in a long time. But
I think
I heard it's good, man.
On Flow. Joe gave you his Flow account, get you all the way down.
I've already paid for an account for him.
I got a Flow account. I'll have to check it out.
It's at the 2 hour and 24 minute because I don't think it broke it up into matches.
No. So yeah, no. That was a great match, and Zeke's not afraid to seek that competition. And obviously, Missouri's they just beat Oklahoma State on Sunday, so pretty good place for him and Jay Conway to be headed.
Yeah, he's wrestled some monsters too at the Super 32. I think now you're kind of seeing what Drake Ayala is doing at the Division I level, and Zeke on a kind of a halfway call. I know Joe thinks it was an illegal call, so I'll let Joe bash the official on that one. But he could have beat Drake Ayala, who's having a really good year this year for Iowa. And then he ran into a buzzsaw in Jesse Mendez's future teammate.
Bouzakis.
Nick Bouzakis.
Yeah.
That was a weird match, right? Like Nick Bouzakis kind of hooked his chin and cradled him and pinned him. They came over, video reviewed it, wiped it, and then kind of the same situation, but they couldn't have a good camera angle and same thing.
Yeah. So yes, Seltzer might get a rematch with Bouzakis coming up in March. Wink, wink. Some news should be coming out soon about that.
Nick Bouzakis looked like he was really strong.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get him there. Going down, you got Drew Willis from Roncalli, Andrew Merritt from Franklin County, Jack Todd from Pendleton Heights. There's another Jack Todd, but he's up at Carroll. They did actually wrestle at Folk South State last year. And Michael Major from Carmel, Major, real tough freshman. Pretty good, solid quarterback. Jack Todd from Pendleton Heights is pretty tough as sophomore. You can't really sleep on him. I know I've seen him wrestle. Obviously, he wrestled my kid, my Jackson Todd, and so it should be an interesting match there.
Is he related to Mason Todd?
Possibly. I do not know. Mine is not.
Well,
the one at Carroll is not related to him.
Right? Michael Major, real solid freshman, real tough. Obviously, his brother was real tough. He was one of the top guys on the youth board coming in. Drew Willis having a real good season, 30-4, avenged a loss to Thompson. His dad coached the softball team. They beat us pretty good. We're not bad. They beat us up, so I'm going to give him his props. They can play softball really well.
Yeah. Going down, you got another.
I think he wrestled high this offseason, too. I think he was up in the 40s. Just kind of a tough lineup to break in. Again, you got to kind of fit in. You got good 38, good 45, good 52.
Yeah, Todd was up at 38 or 45, at least at Folk South State. So I was kind of surprised to see him down there. I know our Jackson Todd is up at 45, so it tells you where they both headed. Going down, you got Brevin Thrine from Newcastle having another great year. Anthony Corliss from Perry Meridian, 14-14. Can't sleep on a Perry Meridian kid, Then you got Thaddeus O'Neill, our guy, Terry O'Neill's son, senior, smallest long snapper in the state in 6A. He was a long snapper for Westfield's. They made it to state, I think, in football. he was a long snapper for them, and then Zach Houghton from Mount Vernon Fortville, pretty solid senior. So some pretty good wrestlers right in that quarter bracket. Thrine's probably the class of the field, but he can't take anyone for granted there.
Yeah, those have been really good matches. I know O'Neill and Houghton have wrestled a couple times. I believe Houghton is ahead in the series. So right off the bat, you're gonna have a guy that you've wrestled, 3 or 4 times already in the season. And Brevin Thine is tough, man. Those guys are explosive. His little brother's explosive. I mean, I'm a little disappointed Johnny Hughes ain't up in here telling us, getting the hype going for my guy.
You're probably gonna have to redo this whole thing because the Thrine crew ain't here. So,
but the younger brother looked really tough wrestling the younger. They were at middle school state. They were the same weight as Evan Stanley. He wrestled the younger. Why am I, dude? It happened to me last time too. The younger Vargo. That was an awesome match. It was like 13-12. So Newcastle kind of rebuilding a little bit, but Brevin Thine looking to get a tick. I think he got beat on a slam last year, right?
Yeah, he wrestled Cotty and got lost.
No, it wasn't Cotty. It was Warren Central, 4-time medalist.
Last year?
Yeah, last year Brevin Thine lost to I'm gonna pull it up right now. He lost on a slam to David Pearson.
Pearson. Okay, yes. Okay.
Kind of in a weird scramble, hard double leg, kind of to dropped him on his hip, and they didn't control it, and Pearson couldn't go on. I know there was some trash talking going back and forth on social media.
And on the board. So.
Well, we can regulate that. We can't regulate people's personal social media accounts.
No, we cannot. Not yet. Not until I take over Twitter.
Give it time.
Yep. We'll go to 2 more weights here. Got 138. Luke Gonzalez, Cathedral, Sterling Smith, Warren Central, Luke Farling, Carmel, Jake Necessary from Richmond. Necessary is pretty solid. We saw him last year. Kind of a little bit under the radar. Richmond's not creeping into the bigger tournaments and stuff. That should be a good first round match. Gonzalez, Farling Gonzalez, another Carmel Cathedral match. Carmel's a little bit on, Cathedral's the favorite there, but it should be a good match right there.
Yeah, Jake Necessary has had some really good wins this year. Had a nice win over the Daleville kid. At some point, I know he was like on the watch list. He was in the borderline of the rankings. I know he took a couple tough losses, dropped out of the rankings, and then in the results section, he beat the Daleville kid. Was it Gurnister? Gurnister,
yeah.
So that's a tough first round with Fairling. It's probably one of the Carmel's not so strong draws. Luke Gonzalez, again, real tough Cathedral kid. They got a nice little run. We got one of the toughest partners in the state. I think that can help you get really good really quick. You see a lot of tough teams where you got a couple tough individuals back to back, and they get good. Unfortunately, one of his partners broke his ankle this week and made my rankings look bad.
Yeah. Chris Jordan just said Sterling Smith broke both legs last football season and had to learn to walk again. Holy cow.
Oh, my goodness.
That's pretty impressive.
That's real. Wow.
Dang. That is. That's crazy. Like on a hit? Like you broke both of them?
I don't know.
Didn't tear up his knees or anything. That's crazy.
Jeez. Yeah. Props to him. Come back and qualifying for semi-state.
So I think sometimes you see things like that, and we're talking about bad draws, and that guy's probably like, yeah, who cares about draws?
Broke my legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, broke my legs, learned to walk again. So that first round matches, and I'm not as worried about that.
Yeah. Going down, you got Bryce Lowry having a great junior year, 2-time medalist. Carson Fettig from Hamilton Heights, sophomore, having a good year. Gavin Sherwood, Cambridge City Lincoln. Then Zach Lang, 17th ranked in the semi-state or the state, Hamilton Southeastern. That should be 3 versus 17 right there. Should be a pretty solid match.
Yeah, Bryce Lowry is real tough, man. The whole Lowry crew has been really tough. They've all been they started at Perry Meridian, right? And then they went to Ron Colley.
Yeah.
The other one's Blaze, right?
Yeah, Blaze graduated from Ron Colley or from Perry, and then Bryce started Braden started at Roncalli, Perry, then moved to Roncalli.
So, real solid family. I mean, he's trying to get in the lights, trying to make some magic happen, right?
Yeah, he's
undefeated.
Tough.
He's real tough. Zach Lane's tough too. Hamilton Southeastern, 28-5. A lot of those guys wrestle. I would be willing to bet. I know he's lost to Ike O'Neill a couple weekends in a row, but I feel like there's like a bunch of schools right in that area that wrestle each other.
Yeah, that North Indy area, they wrestle each other a lot. They see each other in different events, and that North Indy area, with Carmel, Hamilton Southeastern, Fishers, Westfield, Zionsville, they wrestle. They're tough, and they're beating up on each other every week and getting better. So it's a good area to, of wrestling.
About to put that Sterling Smith one on he's a junior. Yeah. About to put that on the list next year for an article. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Going down, you got Ike O'Neill, Terry's son, another tough kid. I'll say something about him in a minute. Braden Tudor from Lawrenceburg, Jacoby Taylor from Tech, and then Caden Shelton, Franklin Central. Ike putting himself in a good spot there, running a pretty solid regional. We picked him up at a Mechaniquot tournament when he was like an 8th grader going into his freshman year, and he wasn't very good technically. He's kind of tall, goofy, not sure what he's doing with his arms and legs, kind of that type of awkwardness at 14, 15 years old. But the one thing I noticed that he battled. He stayed in every match. He actually helped us win a duel. But just you see a lot of that, that just grittiness, that toughness. Didn't give up. Fought every takedown. Fought wrestling kids that were way better. Fought getting pinned, things like that. And kind of just as a coach, you're like, man, that kid is gonna surprise some people coming. And he might punch a ticket to state right now.
Yeah. Obviously we like Terry. Terry's always been awesome, dude. He's a great guy. So you hope those guys would do well. Ike's wrestled his 9 losses. I know he got 2 to Jesse. I know he's had a couple other real tough ones. He lost to Clayton Shelton at some point. He beat Clayton Shelton 1-0. That could be a real good ticket round match. I know that was a guy. I always give Chris Garcia a little bit of a hard time. I think they're at the same tournament in Ohio, and Clayton Shelton took one of the Ohio top ranked guys or top 5 guy to the limit. It was like, hey, I don't know a lot about this guy, but you should probably keep an eye on him. And Franklin Central does a good job. We did an article about their team early on and kind of some of the stuff they've dealt with. And I know they dealt with some tragedy this year also, which is never easy.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a real good quarter bracket. Kind of a surprise wrestler there that could come out there. Last quarter bracket, Dylan Langrich from East Central. Pretty solid, kind of overshadowed by some of the other East Central guys. Gerald Hudson from Southmont, Matt Wickman from Greenfield Central, and Carson Johnson from Mount Vernon. He's taken 2 losses the past couple weeks to Gonzalez. So, pretty, Johnson put himself in a pretty solid position. He was 6th at Al Smith, didn't wrestle the second day. He was in the semis. So I might have him as having a couple more losses. They're technically just injury defaults. So whatever, it is what it is. So
yeah, I think he had some really nice wins last year. I know he had some tough matches with Brevin Thine. I know he wrestled Delta a couple times. Tough kid, man. I think it's kind of the world we live in. Maybe back in the day, maybe back in our day when we were young and we were in high school, you wrestle when you're sick. But now if you're sick, it's better to kind of take the high road. And I know they said he wasn't feeling well, and that they got sick that night at Al Smith, and they're like, yeah, we should probably pull out.
Yeah,
it wasn't, it's the right thing to do. I think East Central, we talk about it with a lot of the teams. Like if you got partners like Wolf and we're about to talk about Ryder Searcy and those guys, it's easy to get really good in there, because if you can't get good, it's going to be a real long practice for you.
Yeah. So going down 145, we'll wrap up with this one. Real good first round match here. Matt Kuntz, Perry Meridian, couple-time medalist. Zach Struder, solid senior. That's not going to be an easy match. Obviously, Kuntz is really, really, really good, but you can't overlook Struder. Evan Wolf, Union County. Romeo White. Romeo White wrestled 138 a little bit. He bumped up late, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He was a 38. I was thinking he was a pretty big 38 pounder. We wrestled him. So that'll be an interesting. I mean, Kuntz should cruise, but he can't really, take it easy those first two matches. Because both those guys are going to come at. White's going to be big and athletic and kind of, he could frustrate him real quick.
Yeah, I think obviously Matthews had a really good career up to this point. We're trying to finish it out, and you can't, like, you're right, you can't overlook it and start thinking about the state championships and what you're going to do, try to get back under the lights. But also to that, like, those guys have been doing it for a long time. He's been doing it since, he was probably born almost. Yeah. Like, it's going to be tough. I think he understands, like, wrestle one at a time and take care of business. And Parameridian's had a good track record of, getting guys to the show and having success.
Yep, definitely. Going down, got Brack Cooper, Zionsville, returning state qualifier, right? I think he's placed.
No, he has not placed.
Isaiah Holden. He's placed.
Has he had 3 times state qualifier?
What do you say?
Has he been to state 3 times?
I think only twice. He's a couple-time IPO placer, though. He wrestles well in Fort Wayne.
21, he was a state qualifier.
Yeah. He has Isaiah Holden from Greenfield Central. Then Aiden Kiner from Mount Vernon and Devin Frazier from Centerville. Should be a good, pretty good quarter bracket right there. Holden's is no slouch. I believe his dad is the coach, so your coach's son, you obviously know that he's going to be pretty solid. And Cooper's obviously a pretty good wrestler, pretty good pickup for Zionsville this year.
Yeah, coach's son, and his dad was state champ, right? 2000.
Yep. May or may not have beaten me in college, but that's a few years ago.
Devin Frazier, real tough. I believe he was a freshman sophomore champ also. That could be an interesting ticket round match if he gets past Kiner with Hooper. Centerville's had some really tough individuals. So Frazier, Hooper went to state a couple times at Carmel. Now he's with Zionsville. So trying to close out with a medal. It's tough, man. Some of these guys, I wonder if the pressure of going there a couple times and not getting it done on Friday night, if it adds any more anxiety to what you're doing. Yeah. If you're Elijah Anthony or Brack Hooper, guys that have high expectations, high hopes, if you get there and the anxiety kind of builds for you.
Yeah, definitely. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of things to be going through your head when you're 16, 17 years old. Obviously Triple B can come in on, returning runner up and just the pressure, the internal pressure, not even pressure from outside, that can build up as a wrestler, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, that you've done everything except for, under the lights at state. So.
Yeah, I mean, you carry that with you all year long, every match you go into. I mean, it's an incredible amount of stress. So.
Yeah. And especially at that young age where you should be kind of relaxed and not worrying about things like that. Now you have social media and, everyone's,
I could not imagine having to wrestle with Indiana Matt. Like, I would have been the kid always getting kicked off Indiana Matt for running my mouth at people. Like, I was a hothead. My parents would have to take my phone and computer away. It would have been nasty. I mean, I got booed out of my own gym at regional. So
nice. Oh goodness. I'm so surprised you would stir the pot any. I'm just that's.
I Hulk Hogan the crowd when they were rooting against me in a match. They didn't like it.
Nice.
Were they going for class wrestling or what?
So, last half bracket, Ryder Searcy, East Central, 41-1. Been right in the mix the past couple years. He's a pinner. He is a pinner, and he's tough. He's one that hasn't quite punched his ticket, but could, bring home a state medal. Gage Gully, Noblesville, Wime Time trained Ryan Hartig from Hamilton Southeastern, Zach Wilson from Roncalli. That's going to be a good ticket round match there.
Oh yeah, I think Ryder Stairs is a big judo guy, right? And like kind of how he started off was like he was in judo and kind of transitioned over. His only loss to Corbin Watson. Zach Wilson, real tough. I believe he has one loss to like Dylan Graham, and the rest of his losses are to Matthew Kuntz. I'm almost positive, but I'm not 100% on that. But I know they wrestle every step of the tournament because I see them taking pictures together afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure if they wrestled this weekend in the finals, they'd be happily taking that picture again. Real tough. That'd be a good one. That's probably one of the better ticket round matches at the semi-state.
Yep. Going down, you got freshman Michael Kane from Hamilton Heights, regional champ. Obviously, Dylan Graham broke his leg last week before, Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. I don't know what the exact day was, but I know it early, midweek, whatever. Hopefully he gets healed up pretty quick. Tough out for him, but Kane versus Hamilton, if he has Joey Hannon from Newcastle, Andrew Goodwin, Southport, and Nael Sabe from Carmel. He's kind of coming on late, 1911. Obviously, Carmel wrestles a good schedule. They run the MIC. They were at Team State. They went to Mooresville. So, 11 losses. He's right. He's one you can't. Carmel's wrestling well right now. Not a bad spot to be put in. As far as, a lot of losses in that quarter bracket. We've talked about ones with less than 10, and there's 31 right there. So, pretty wide open quarter bracket.
Yeah, Iron Bear gets his guys up, man. I know that they're pushing and they're trying to, I think the Team State tournament's really been good for them and got the excitement going for that program. I know that's something to aim for when you can get a regional champ. Joey Hannon, another freshman, 2 freshmen first round. I don't know a lot about him. I'm sure Hughes could give us a better idea. Andrew Goodwin's been around. I know he's been pretty tough. And I know Ed's was pretty high on Sabe. I know he was kind of said we were sleeping on him a little bit early on. But, they wrestle teams, like you said, they wrestle Team State, Mooresville. They're all over the area.
Yeah. So that should be a good quarter bracket. But so that is half of the weights. Tomorrow night we will do Fort Wayne and the rest of these weights. Go back to the big.
That went so much faster than the first half of our week.
Yes. Yes. So any before we go, any parting words, Triple B, other than you need more invites here?
No, I'll just say the same thing I kind of say every year, and that is, man, at the end of the day, these are kids who are going out there and kind of putting it on the line. So we like to have fun and do rankings. I feel bad every time I got to pick against the kid. But, I mean, crowd, fans, I saw the whole sportsmanship thing on the Indiana map this week. But at the end of the day, they're kids, man. Don't boo the kids. Don't, bad calls, whatever. Let's just have a great Saturday. And let's be thankful that we're all coming together as, mostly, I think, is this Chicago limiting people this weekend, Mike?
They're actually making you get a booster shot at the door.
You guys are losers. Down south, we're going to have fun. Down south, we're going to have fun at the Ford Center. And that's it, man.
Are you guys not? I think they said they're gonna do 1,800. They're selling tickets. I don't really know why. I think they said less than we had last year during the height of the pandemic. I don't know. I only get to be a spectator. I don't always get to make the rules. I do like when people ask me why that's happening, though.
Yeah, like we know. So yeah, that's gonna be some great wrestling at Evansville. I know you're gonna be heading down there. Friday night. So if hit Triple B up, he'll probably be.
Hey, I'll be at Bally's, the casino.
So hopefully he makes it there on Saturday.
Fresh out of my COVID. I'm not doing anything, man. I'm still, like I said, I might just crawl right into bed. We'll see. But
so
right now I'll be at Bally's.
Yeah, should be some great wrestling. So Mike and I
are
will
they
be
still
back
doing the eating guide and all that stuff? They used to do that article.
Caleb Sprunger asked earlier if there were any recommendations for Evansville. He said if you really want to drag on,
yes,
Stoles Country Market, right? It's ran by some modern day guys. It's an Amish buffet. It's phenomenal. That's where I'm heading Friday night. I haven't been there in 3 or 4 years. So
nice. Hey, yeah, I'm
Sprunger's
sure
going to Evansville to watch.
No, I think he's just trying to get us off on more of a tangent.
No, he just wants to see if we can go 4 or 5 hours, see what kind of marathon we could put together. So
I just wanted to keep us on into my birthday. So happy birthday! Yeah. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dustin.
Happy birthday, Triple B.
Have a good birthday. Celebrate 42 in style. You're as old as me.
In the quarantine.
You're as old as me. And you graduated the year before, or year after I did.
That's right.
held back for academic purposes, didn't get to move like everyone else in
Took a
Madison.
red shirt.
So we're gonna
I stuck it out, man.
Yep, we're gonna get off here. Mike and I will be back tomorrow, so we will see you guys later.